Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 70th episode of the Devouring Dark, which is actually a pretty high number now that I just look at it. But anyway, um, either way, last time the group was kind of hanging out in the sewer, and
Again.
yes, they encountered some people that stepped on one of Explow's mines. And they debated for quite a while whether or not to sacrifice some people to make the ritual go faster. And they decided to go along with it after quite a bit of debate, although there were a few people who disagreed. Either way, the event transpired, and even though I had to rewind because of one of my own mistakes for a few seconds, but then when we rolled, we turned out that the events transpired the same way anyway. And then after one of the group member, like, there was a little bit of in-group fighting afterwards, and as a result, an entity of extraordinary power decided to rear its head and finally try to put it aside, or try to get the person who was most disagreeable on the same side as everybody else. And he kind of managed to do so, I would say, for now at least. He sort of showed some visions that didn't really convince him in and of themselves, but then the entity decided to reverse the consequences of their decision, and then everything sort of cooled down afterward. And the entity sort of just walked off. And the group returned to a sort of equilibrium for the moment, and they are in the middle of deciding how to move forward next. Though Tabaki, after the entity used his body in the way that it did, he is very tired and is probably going to have to take a long rest. He's at however many hit points he was healed for. And he feels very tired. If he continues, he can, but he will have the point of exhaustion, which he would have had if he would have completed the ritual normally. So he is tired and would probably prefer to rest, but if you guys as a group decide to go somewhere else, he probably still can, but he'll have the point of exhaustion.
Question is, where is safer than right here where we are right now?
That's fair. However, I'm just giving you what the stipulations are for if you want to do anything. So you guys are sort of hanging out in a underground tunnel that you guys have made your home for the past few sessions, and now is the point where you can decide what you wish to do. There are a few things on your checklist that I have kept a mental note of, and if you do not attend to those things, something may happen, may not, who knows.
I think we need to check up on the farm where we were at least.
Well, I would say that another day, if I could have that, and perhaps your aid, Lucian, we could find out more about this orb of storms. And perhaps
you guys can stay here. I can go out and check the farm on myself. I mean, what the hell could I come across? A humongous giant rat?
Or a bunch of zombies.
Probably the zombies, but yeah, we can see what's going on in the world. I believe I also had just got checked in with my familiar, and
Yes.
it was at a bank that looked like it had collapsed in partly.
It looks like, not entirely. The bank, the structure of it looks fine. Though it looks like it's been pillaged is the problem.
It was like that before I got there.
That one
He
wasn't
says
you.
now, Pete, trying to be
No.
innocent.
We did stop by a bank similar to what you described, yes.
But yes, the doors are sort of like broken. There is a trap that seems to be, at the very least, disarmed in such a way that it will not work.
Is it just me or does that seem weird?
Yeah, that does. Either way, but yes, it's not got anything valuable or useful or anything other than perhaps a pile of silverware. But other than that, nothing strange.
Okay.
And that's just
So-
because I didn't have room in my bag of holding.
Yes, that is the reason why that's there.
Okay. Well, there's got to be another bank somewhere. So I can look for that as well as the magic shops.
When I think we should discuss this, what to do with the big bad guy in my bag of holding.
Well, aren't we in a
Heck.
place that it can exist?
In theory, but I'm
And-
pretty sure our Lord and Savior, the mysterious DM, has a plan.
Well, you dissipated your spell now, right? So he would be able to teleport, perhaps.
He
So,
would.
Put
If
it
we-
back up.
Let's see if we wait.
By the laws of the spell, he shouldn't be able to exist because he's undead.
Yeah, but I
The
also got
element
a
pushed
bad
away.
feeling that not only was bad things going to happen to the Afridi, but there was going to be a chain reaction effect that we were all going to suffer.
Yes, you did see that the spell was straining on him in such a way that if you would have waited much longer, then not only would he have been instantly dead, but other things would have happened, yes.
Yeah, but that was the combination of the two spells. Now we only have the one.
Yes.
And it says that undead can't exist within the perimeter. Isn't that kind of right? Or am I just spitballing?
Well, you
No,
saw
that's
the elemental. He got pushed away. So I assume the same will happen to this creature.
And that's my concern is if we put up my spell again, yes, he'll be stuck where he can't leave and like be transported away, and we're just going to be stuck in the same spot where if we're still here, something bad's going to happen to us.
Perhaps that will be enough to knock him out, and we can finish him off from there.
Actually, it did appear to completely incapacitate the Afridi.
Which he is still laying outside the radius, unconscious.
But
So, all right, I can cast it again.
Just cast it again. Let's see what's the worst that could happen.
Yeah, before they even start.
What's the worst that could
I am
Before they
happen?
really
start doing it,
prepared.
I'm already going towards the farm since I know it will be safe. Hopefully.
Take Lily with you. You
Yeah,
should have
okay.
somebody with you.
Okay,
Yeah.
Lily and I. Buddies forever!
All right. As she walks behind you. She seemed kind of interested to see what would happen if two random spells interacted with each other and you stopped it before. But now she's just gonna go since
Yeah.
you guys want her to.
It will take me 10 minutes to cast.
We have 10 minutes.
After I cast it and it's ready, and we're gonna jump out the guy. I want to be prepared to just drop this spell when I feel that things are about to go horribly, horribly wrong.
Yes, you will have like a split second where you'll see what's happening, and you'll be able to intervene if you wish. However,
Cool.
if you choose not to intervene, then perhaps things will happen. You don't know. It's
Perhaps
not
we
like
will
you
just
were
die?
super experienced in the combination of two spells that have laws that cannot be broken next to each other, that sort of thing.
Mm.
You're
Well,
not
at
super
least
experienced with it, but it didn't look good last time.
At
Right.
least we do know that if Matt rolls a natural 1 on the D10, it's going to be something really bad. Because he was laughing last time.
Yeah.
All right. So, if it's been 10 minutes, the spell's been cast.
Yeah, unless if anybody else wants to do anything in that 10 minutes while he's casting.
Walking off quickly, not to be catched within the blast wave of what they're planning to do.
I walk over to Becky and I use my last remaining.
Okay,
Do I
what
have
hit
the orb?
points
Who has
am
the orb?
I on? Because last time I didn't heal myself. I healed one of the other creatures, I think.
Yeah, you were healed by me last time.
Oh, I were. But did
Who
I
has
take
the- who
damage
has the
or
orb?
just exhausted?
I have the orb.
You have the orb?
Yeah,
Well,
I am
Expo,
also.
walk over to you and ask kindly for the orb.
Well, I wanted to see what would happen if I cast the spell, the Morgan's Sanctum, while
Oh.
holding it.
Oh, that's fine. I can just. The plan is just to use Cure Wounds, the last 2 remaining spell slots, near Tabaki and everybody else that's in the room that might be missing some health points.
Actually, I was going to recommend that we try to heal the Ifriti and send the Ifriti with. Sorry, I keep forgetting everybody's name.
Horizon.
Yeah, with Autoson and Lily.
Yeah,
So we'll go over there and do the healing spell, and then I'll cast the Sanctum.
Yeah.
I can give him the last of my energy if you wish.
No,
No.
you.
We're probably gonna have to
you're
use that.
Yeah, you rest up, buddy.
So you're not missing health points, Tabaki, are you? Or
Oh, well, I don't think so, no. Because I don't remember anything about me losing 80 hit points.
Well, you
Well,
did.
then
Technically, when you bled out, you were
Yes,
at
at
0.
1. Yes.
That's okay.
okay
I
then.
just
So
don't know how many hit points I have, so let's say 25 then. Because I think we healed and stuff.
yeah, but you just got 1 Cure Wounds from
Autoson.
Arosan.
Yeah,
There
I
it
put
is,
the
my
cure
fault.
wounds onto the back last time, but that's what I do recall.
You slapped him.
Yes.
You slapped him on the head, and you put Cure Wounds on his head.
That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
at
also
second
have
level.
spell.
And like I
Why
said,
don't
to
you
be
just
fair,
roll it
it
then?
There it
was
is. It's 10.
10?
Yeah, 10. 3 plus 7 makes 10.
Yes.
and like I said, it is technically my fault because I didn't say that you got damaged. So
Yes, that's fine. I guess I could still just heal.
That is the
as
beauty
long
of
as
magic.
you have spell slots, yes, you can use those
I
spell
have
slots however
a
you
lot
wish.
of spell slots. I've used pretty much 3 in total. Or a bit more, but yeah. In that case, I will go
Follow
close
us?
to the treaty and ask for the orb, if I can have that.
Okay, yeah, I'll hand it over.
Okay, and let's see which one is the D8.
Like I said, let's just make sure we move over to the Ifriti, so the Ifriti is
Yeah.
gonna benefit.
It's 30 feet, isn't it?
20.
20.
Yeah.
And I do the same thing through the orb, and I'm gonna cast 2 Cure Wounds.
Yes, and this one, the orb allows you to have a radius if you can.
Why didn't it just cast Cure Wounds instead? I'm just gonna roll 2 d8s. Just do it.
Yes.
I'm just gonna do it the retard way.
Are they both first level? Because then it's plus your modifier
Yeah,
twice.
it's first level. So it's plus. Is it intelligence?
Yeah, so probably 10. 5, 5.
5. So it's a D8 plus 5, right?
Yeah.
Get your heels on, boys.
Technically, it's 5 more than that.
all ya.
Yeah, it's 5 more, so it's 18.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so anyone who was damaged during that fight, which Lily was,
Heal for 7. No, 16 total. With mine and his heals.
60? 60?
Yes. Yeah, 60. Right?
Okay.
Because
I just wanted to make sure I heard you right.
42 from me, and then 18 from him. Yeah, that's 60.
Damn, that's all the health I would have had.
I'm still not full. I guess I could just overdo it. Let's go.
Okay.
12 more. Am I full now? Yeah, I'm full now.
You feel better, buddy?
I do feel rejuvenated. Indeed.
Indeed. Indeed.
Okay, so she's at full health.
How's the Afridi?
And if you're casting it near the Afridi, is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Okay. He sort of stirs after the first spell, and then when everybody starts casting all kinds of spells, he gets better, is the point.
As soon as he's conscious, I do want to tell him, like, hey, sorry for that. Didn't realize that was going to happen.
He just sort of gets up to his feet and just sort of starts rubbing his temple and goes, "What happened?"
We did a fuck up.
The priest spell created like a safe zone from the undead and apparently elementals as well.
And a few other
Nice.
creatures.
He just sighs heavily.
And it would have just banished you to your realm. But my spell that I had cast in the same area didn't allow dimensional travel. So you kind of got caught between two conflicting forces.
Oh, shit. Can I do, like, a nature or history check or something to try and figure out if the teleport guy would actually be banished to his realm? If he's from some other realm?
If he's
Because I don't
from
think
some
we did
other
that.
realm and the spell would banish him, then yes. You don't
Yeah,
even need to make a check to do that. That's just basic logic.
Yeah,
If
but
the-
can I do a check to see if I know if he is from another realm?
You have no idea. There would be no way for your character to know that information. Because he just looked like a human. So you have humans in this realm, and there were probably humans in other realms. So you don't know. There would be no way to tell.
Okay. Just checking.
So, unfortunately, that would be impossible for your character to know.
No, I'm just checking.
That's fair. I'm just saying.
I haven't heard of so many humans that can teleport at will. All the time.
Quick question for you, Matt. How do you want me to roll for the amount of ball bearings I threw out when I did animate object? And don't imagine I just pulled out 10 exactly.
I'll say roll a d20. And based on the number that you roll, that will be how many are just sort of scattered everywhere.
Like on top of the 10?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't use up your nat 20s.
Because I'll say that since the 10 are animate, when you were finished with them, they would have went back to your pouch.
Oh, I picked them up. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, you could always pick them up after.
Yes. So they scattered all over. 11 of them, apparently.
Yeah,
so
no, I'm
you
gonna
notice
be
that your bag is slightly lighter than you think it should be.
No,
and
that's
you
fine.
start
It's one of
looking
those.
at the ground and you see one or two just sort of laying on the ground.
No,
Can you do the same thing with coins?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, well, you have plenty of those, so I don't see why you're.
because it costs 2 gold to buy the ball bearings. I don't want to like.
Yeah, and you have over 5,000 platinum on your. So
But I only have
it should be good.
25. Actually, no, I do have a large amount, 4610.
He's saying that he could potentially do that, but it would cost less money for him to do it this way.
I'm a greedy bastard because I still have over 900 ball bearings.
I'm supposed to be the greedy bastard.
Oh, hey, we're gonna conflict and fight over that. Sweet.
But then I saved all our life by throwing away all my money. I'm still regretting it. Just fuck it. Everybody just die. Let's still
Hey.
die rich.
Hey, if this works, you'll get back most of your money.
Yay.
Alright, so everyone is healed, and the Ifriti seems to understand what is happening. It's
And
not
then
like his brain was so damaged in the impact of what happened that he got amnesia or anything weird. He seems alright for the moment, at least. Perhaps later he'll just explode, but you don't know.
I am going to ask if you will accompany Autoson and Lily to the farm.
He nods and says, "Well, your safe zone prevents me from entering, so I can't stay here."
That's why I'm thinking if you go with them to the farm, maybe that'll be a location you can stay at.
Fair enough. And he just sort of turns and is waiting to follow Edo-san, which I assume he is going to do immediately after the healing.
Yeah. Not that I need it. I mean, I'm at full still.
Well, I actually do have a quick question. What about the koku, or koku that we use for the ritual? Yeah.
And the human.
Well, the human can stay in the area, but the other one is an air elemental, right? So it can't be within.
The Aarakocra is within the range. It is considered a humanoid.
Oh, okay. See if either one of them wants to go with them as well.
I don't think they're going to trust us so good.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe you want to leave and
just sacrifice them.
Unfortunately, since your actions still had a bit of consequences. He did save the life of the Aarakocra, but he did not bring it back to a state where it can become conscious.
Okay.
Oh.
So at the moment, it is in a comatose state. So it's just sort of laying on the floor.
So everybody wins.
Sweet.
The human, however, is just sort of sitting in the corner, having had watched all of that happen. He's still confused, but he's just sort of sitting there in the corner.
We haven't talked to him after we put the darkness away from him either.
Yeah, he just woke up and you guys were killing him, and then he woke up again after being healed. That's all that he knows at this moment. About you guys.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
Well, you can't make him lie. Tell him it's all one big nightmare. But I leave it up to you guys.
So I'm going to take back the orb and I will cast Sanctum, and I want to see what happens to the other two.
I'm going to guess that the range just gets bigger.
Well, we can see if it's the range that gets bigger, which happens like if I casted a higher spell, or if each of you actually get a great.
Well, it takes 10 minutes to cast, so you guys can discuss what you want to do, how you want to situate yourselves while this is happening, whatever.
I want the big guy that owned the minigun that is now currently on my bear. Is his body still around?
His body was sort of laying in the radius, and when the radius appeared, it just sort of away. So it's outside the radius.
Damn it. I was going to chop off his hands and see if I just could put his hands on the minigun and it would activate.
The body didn't get destroyed, it just got pushed. So it's just sort of laying on the outside of the radius.
Well, I'm walking to the outside of the radius and I will chop his hands off.
I just say be back within 10 minutes.
BRB.
You start doing that, you realize it's a slightly harder task than you thought. It takes you about 7 minutes just to get one of the hands off.
Do the other.
Okay, so you're going to be in the middle of doing that when he completes his spell.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're cutting through it, and it looks like there's sinew and weird muscles that shouldn't be there. Like muscles compounded on muscles compounded on muscles. And the same thing with the bones. The bones seem to have been restructured slightly. Like there was a basic structure, and then something happened to this creature and caused it to compound on itself to make it stronger, perhaps, or more durable to damage. You're not sure, but this is what takes you such a long time to cut through it.
Explode just says to himself, Anatomy-ception.
Yes, it's sort of strange, and it's compounded, and it's weird.
Do we have the hands?
You have one hand in 7 minutes. So you can get the other hand, but it will be after whatever happens with the spell.
No.
So I'm just letting you know. Either way, anybody else doing anything? The two walking away?
I'm just sitting down next to one of the walls, taking it easy.
Yes, you're resting, I'll say. You can still talk during your long rest, and it's fine. But as long as you're not like attempting to continue open up a mine shaft or something like that, like you're not like mining into the ground or anything labor intensive or things of that nature, you're fine. But if you start opening a mine shaft, just let me know and I'll interrupt your long rest.
Yeah, I start opening a mine shaft.
You want to borrow my pickaxe, or you're just going to use your magical weapon?
I'll use my hands. I'll whip out the stone. I'll eventually get it.
China, here we come.
He's doing the Minecraft thing where he just opens a mine shaft straight down or something weird like that. Anyway,
for lava, though.
Either way, so anybody else doing anything? Only one other person here, so I guess not. As he finishes his 10 minutes, here is what happens. So the spell activates as usual. You place the fog-like wall, if you will, in the areas where you wish. And nothing else seems to happen until you realize that all you can see is the orb. And you start looking around yourself, you don't see anything.
I'm going to ask the orb if it knows what's going on.
It dims slightly and then it responds with its Morse code-esque speech saying it doesn't know. It doesn't know the answer. It doesn't know what's happening.
So I appear to be in like a completely blank space?
Yes.
With nobody else there?
I will say, Tabaki, you just see a sphere around where Lucius was. It's just a black sphere. You can't see anything in that location. It's about 20 feet, like from one side to the other.
I yell out for Lucius. Are you okay?
Lucius, you do not hear anything.
You should stick your head into the black mist.
I was actually going to say, I'm going to walk to the edge.
You attempt to walk to the edge, but while you are holding the orb, the sphere seems to move with you. And you start moving in a direction that you aren't sure of when you start hitting something solid.
Well, I can see when they like the 20 feet. If I walk and then a wall comes forward and it passes the barrier, I see a wall now, right?
No, you do not see anything.
I
As
will
soon as you
also
just hit
enter.
something solid, which feels like the texture of the wall, but you don't see it.
So me and Tabaki are just seeing a huge black sphere walking around.
Yeah, he sees a sphere that is cut off by the ground, moving around.
Okay.
I will enter it and call out for him again.
All you see is an orb glowing in the middle of this sphere, and you don't hear anything.
Yeah, but that's what I want to say. When I step into it, does he still not hear anything?
No, he doesn't hear anything. And you don't see him either.
Okay. If I wave around my spear, just the wrong end of it, like the handle, do I find anyone?
Do you enter it slightly more than just the edge?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
you
already
start
dropping
going
the
in and you
spell.
start swinging this
Hold
spear
on,
around.
hold on. I'm already dropping the spell.
Okay.
Okay, if you drop the spell, the other effects will end as well.
I understand that.
Okay. The walls that you put in place vanish, and so does the sphere. So now you suddenly see him as Tabaki is just getting ready to swing a spear.
I take several steps back. That is not necessary. I don't think casting that particular spell while holding the orb is a good idea.
I see.
It appears
What you can surmise is that it seems to enhance the secretive abilities of the spell that you are attempting to cast. So it makes everything in the sphere around it completely black and no sound.
right.
That could actually be pretty useful as long as we know the layout of the building we're trying to go into.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we
Because
know
if
the
it's
layout really damn good.
well, not just that, it's also if the properties are being expanded within that 20 feet, then the non-teleportation and non-dimensional travel will also be at a higher level. So if we run across something that can potentially overpower our normal effects, this could be the thing to shut it down.
Yes. But as you saw, you won't be able to see whatever it is you're trying to interact with, and you won't be able to hear it.
So we will
But
just
it
have to
is a thing that you
find
can do.
some like headbands of blind sight.
You could try to find something like that, though you're not sure where or how to make one of these items if you wanted to make one, but
Well,
I'm not sure how that would work.
I have two artifactors with me, right? Two artificers.
They can try to figure that out. They would have to spend time to figure that out because it's not like they innately know how to make everything. They can figure it out, but they would have to spend time to do that.
I get that.
That
Do you
or
still
you
have
could have
do you still have the spell slot for the spell, or you're out of spell slots, aren't you?
We gotta wait an hour.
that, or you could have your weapon blessed, and it will always find your target.
I don't know how that is going to help us in our current situation.
Don't worry about it. It will always be like that.
But if we wait an hour, I can.
While we're waiting an hour, I'm gonna try the. Can I even bring the hands inside the sphere of safetyness?
You attempt to, and when it's like I've described before in other instances of this happening, it's kind of like the best analogy I can make is Gmod, where you're trying to bring a physical object through a physical boundary that you cannot get through with that object, and it's just sort of like banging against that boundary. It can't go through. You can go through, like your body goes through, but you can't get you cannot get the object through.
Well, I command my bear to come to me instead.
Okay, the bear exits the radius.
And I point the gun at anything else but the swear and my teammates, and I put both of the hands of the big ass guy on the trigger thingy.
All right, you put it in the placement where it was when it fired. It does not fire.
Well, that was useless, I say to myself, and I throw away the hands and I go inside the sphere again.
Fair enough.
That was a pointless thing to do.
Fair. I mean, you experimented. Science.
Science. Well, while
It
we're waiting
appears
an
as
hour,
if it was doing. It had a setting active that is currently not active, perhaps, or perhaps something else, or maybe it has to be alive and active in order to do things that it was doing. Or perhaps you just don't understand the object. That's another possibility.
well, while we're waiting the hour, Expo will just tinker around with the gun and try out different modes and see if he can get it to fire.
Okay, so I'll give you the effects of this, and then we'll switch over to Arosan for a bit, just to see if he encounters anything interesting. So you're going to roll a Tinker's check.
That was a poor roll.
Compared to what you can roll, yes. Not in the scale that I was using, it's not a poor roll. However, you start looking at it, and you realize that this kind of works like a magical artifact that has rules and basic, like, it's sort of like how you made your bear. It has rules and what's the word I'm looking for? Like
Boundaries?
yes, like kind of like you've given it a set of it has a set of instructions, and if you press buttons in a certain way, then the instructions activate, which might sound pretty obvious, but to your character, this means that it can be figured out. It is
Okay.
possible. It's not like random. Each time you press a button, it does the same thing. So you avoid the Omega button, because last time we found out that the Omega button doesn't seem like it's a good thing.
Nope.
And you start pressing around in the other buttons. The other buttons have menus that you're not sure how they work. But you start figuring it out. You feel like you're getting a grip on some of the basic concepts that this UI, if you will, the user interface. You're getting a basic grasp on how the user interface works.
Just before I experiment any further, and then you can just move on. Expo opens the magazine and takes out one bullet, just in case anything happens, so he and Arasan might be able to recreate the bullets if we manage to get the gun working.
Yeah. Okay. You take out one, and it is like.
And then I open my bag of holding to put it in. I'm just kidding.
You take the bullet, and it's about this long. It's a couple inches long. And it's a make that you don't recognize. Usually bullets from where you are, they're just sort of like steel balls or iron balls or lead balls or whatever material you make the balls out of. Sort of like spheroids, they don't have to be perfect. You just put it in the weapon and you aim and shoot. It's pretty easy. However, this seems to have some sort of casing that covers something else underneath, and you're not sure. Your character isn't sure how it works. You as a player might know, but
It's kind of like a buffed up 50 cal.
pretty much.
Okay.
But your character doesn't really understand the inner workings of it without perhaps dissecting the object.
Guys, sorry to interject here, but I'll be switching machines as per usual.
Do you have a few minutes
Sure.
before that? Okay. All I wanted to do was get you to roll a perception check.
Okay, ooh. And I closed the window accidentally.
That's
How
okay.
handy. So it needs to load up.
I can try to grab it for you and see who gets there first.
And I am loaded. Bonk. Bonkity. Bonk. Nope, still in the spell list.
Yeah, I can
And
see that. 'Cause I just got on it.
perception. 14.
Okay. You start hearing some strange noises because you're traveling underground, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We're not going topside because just to stay safe.
Yes. You start hearing some strange noises down the corridor ahead of you, and you see that there's a tiny bit of light pouring through what looks like a manhole cover about 50 feet in front of you.
We just, well, you have the light coming from above. Lily and I just go around the light.
As you attempt to go around, you start seeing you start hearing what sounds like a slimy, like splatting noise, and you see things coming through the crack.
Lily! Run!
Okay, you guys are running?
Yep,
Alright.
we're not
You start
dealing with
seeing
this.
what looks like a waterfall of slimy, gunky things falling through.
We're
And
not
you run
dealing
away.
with this.
Alright, you run away. Fair enough. That happens. So, I'll give you your chance to switch now.
Okay, so be right back.
Alrighty. So we go back. The hour has passed. It seemed relatively uneventful.
Did Expo manage to fire the gun?
You started the turning mechanism, but I'll say that you didn't want to unnecessarily waste the ammo, so you stopped before you started firing the weapon, if that's what it was going to do. You weren't sure. But you can start experimenting with it further later, is what I'll say.
Did Expo have to hold the button down, or could he just push the button and then just stop pushing it? Was it automated?
The option that you pressed, it seemed as though it continued turning after you let go of the button. And it said on the screen that it was continuing to turn. So it was like turning. It said on the screen.
So if it actually managed to fire if I push that button, I can just push the button and then command my bear to go completely Allahu Akbar and just run into the enemy.
You can attempt to do that. But yes, you stopped a little short and decided to experiment with some of the other options before you went ahead and did that, just to see if you could find out anything else. But for now, I'll say that that's what you did.
And then we're gonna wait 10 more minutes. And then all hell is gonna break loose.
You keep experimenting with some of the other buttons while he's doing this. I'll get you to make another Tinker Tools check.
That was a bit better.
Alright, so yeah, you start pressing some of the other buttons, and it turns out that there is a button that ejects cartridges, so you waste about 5 bullets before you realize what's happening. That's all it does, is just ejects bullets, and it doesn't fire them, it just shoots them out the place where they're supposed to eject. You find another couple of options that it sort of like bends the weapon in half. You're not sure why. It opens part of it. Perhaps it's for maintenance. You discover a couple of other things that like open different compartments on the weapon. You're not sure what the compartments are for. They appear to be empty.
This thing seems way too complicated for an undead idiot.
No, he definitely took that from somebody, or it was his before he became an undead.
Oh, he definitely stole it.
Either way.
Just because that's what we would do doesn't mean everybody does it.
Shh, now.
Alright, that's fair. However, yeah, you're discovering various things that it can do, but you're not discovering the thing that you want it to do yet. But you still haven't gone back to that option yet. Just yet. Just because you don't want to start shooting and alert a bunch of people to your location and stuff like that. Though later you may wish to do so. However, at the moment, I'll say that you haven't done so.
Okay.
So, the 10 minutes pass. And I assume you wish to cast the spell without the,
Orb?
No, I'll put it in my bag of holding.
Okay. So, you cast... Oh, excuse me. You cast the spell. And it goes the way that you wished it to.
Okay.
So it worked.
Well,
Sweet.
before I open the bag, Tim,
Mm-hmm.
cheers.
To you, buddy. Let's hope this goes well.
Let's
That way
see
you can
if
get
we
back,
don't
like,
just kill our
3,000
characters
a year
now.
platinum.
I don't want to die poor. Expo don't
Alright.
want to die poor.
All right, my character will hear you say that. He'll reach into the bag of holding and he'll pull out 100 of the platinum and just like put it in your hand.
Aww. That's so kind of you giving my own money back.
And
But
in
I will
his
say-
tiny gnome hands, the 100 platinum just falls onto the floor because he has tiny little gnome hands, so he can't
Okay, then
carry
I'll
it
shove
all.
it into his shirt, like in the back of his shirt. Then I'll like tuck him so it just like it stays.
You see one little tear just dripping down from one of Expo's eyes. I used to be rich once, but then I saved my company's lives. And now I'm probably gonna kill them all anyway, so whatever.
Hey,
Expo walks into the middle of the safe play spell, and he opens the bag of holding and turns it inside out.
Okay, and this, yes, is a function that bag of holdings have.
Mhm.
So, he just reaches in and grabs the top, and he makes sure that everybody seems ready that's around him. Although you have a human who's just sort of sitting there, you have a comatose person. I mean, this is just the best crew of people that you could possibly want to do this with.
Oh yes. Don't worry,
um,
we're gonna be on the brink of death, and then the comatose guy is gonna save our asses.
Technically, I have established rules for comatose people. They can wake up depending on rolls that they make. So, he may do that. Who knows? But so you just have your hands in the proper position. You look at everybody. I mean, Lucius is ready.
Mhm.
Tabaki looks like he's half asleep.
No,
but
Tabaki is
otherwise-
still doing the ritual.
In his mind.
You can see me halfway asleep next to the corner. I took my short rest. I'll just keep doing this.
Yeah, he's just in his dreams. He's like one of those dogs that's running and it's as it's
Got a
laying on the
leg.
floor. Yes. Yeah, he's pretty much that in this moment. Either way, you just see that this is the best opportunity in this moment to do this, so you turn it inside out, and what you see is not what you put in the bag.
Obviously.
So, for a split second, you see it standing next to you. However, for like 2 milliseconds, you see something standing next to you. However, I need my dice roller. That's what I'm looking for.
We're all gonna die. We're all gonna die.
Probably.
Okay. So, this is a lot of, it can be a lot of damage. So, let's see what happens. Let's just stick with this. Okay. So it
Holy
instantly
shit.
teleports to a similar location to where the Ifriti teleported to, and this is where I get to roll my d10.
Is that,
Unlucky for you guys, it
D20
managed to
plus,
survive.
Is that D20 plus 30 for each of the D20s, or just
No,
plus
it's
30?
total. Pluses are always
That
in,
is a damage roll, so it's all those. It's 10d20 plus 30. And as I said, unlucky for you, it still appears to be animate.
Yeah.
So, gonna roll this d10 here. Okay, so you didn't get a natural one. What happens is, it's sort of, here's what you see, to be fair. You see what looks like a, how do I describe this? Sort of looks like a person, except if their bones and sinew were like stretched out unnaturally far, and the skin was ripped. It kind of looks like a
Slenderman?
No. It looks like
an inflatable.
Tube Man?
Yeah, the.
I think it's called Stretch Armstrong.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, that
Looks
guy.
kind of like that. Its parts are just stretched unnaturally all over the place. And its head and neck are just extended unnaturally. However, it starts. It almost looks like there's pressure on one side and there's pressure on the other side, and it's taking the force from that. So, excuse me. Basically, what's going to happen is this is going to happen. Takes
Oh, shit.
254 damage, and it is still animate. Unlucky for you. I'm pretty sure anyway. Let me just add that to make sure. Why not?
356.
20 D20, and only 2 natural 20s.
I
says a
know,
lot.
right? I don't like those ones. Those ones suck.
Yeah.
There's
But then
two
again,
ones.
2 ones on 30 D20s,
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
which is
So that's actually
pretty damn good.
This dickhead.
Yes, 356 damage. It's still up. It's flailing around, and it finally manages to slide down the outside of your radius, and it just sort of lands in the darkness outside of your. Well, it's dark, but it's not any more dark than it was before. But, it's darker, and it's just sort of standing on the outside of the radius.
Did he make a lot of noise getting squished like that? Would I have paid attention because I was not doing much? Like
Yeah, you guys can hear and hear. Yeah, you guys can hear and hear. Yeah, it was going.
Yeah, okay, I would have heard that. So I'll also come over.
Alright, so you stand up. Technically, until you do an action that takes a lot of effort, your long rest isn't interrupted. You're just sort of walking over. And you see that this thing just sort of slides down. And it sort of looks like it's in the formation that a lizard would stand in. And it has its arms splayed out next to it. And its torso is just elongated. And its head just sort of cocks around and looks at you. However, it appears to be severely damaged from what happened. It is considered bloodied.
As it's falling down, can I use my reaction?
I'll allow it. I'll say that you guys can have a turn while it's sliding down.
Okay. I'm gonna sick my bear on him, and I'm gonna command my bear to punch him in the nose, basically, and then try to pin him into the ground.
Okay, so claw and then grapple. I
And
guess.
I'm hitting with Phantasmal Force.
Okay, so technically, since he said that he was going to do the attacks first, let's see what happens.
Yeah. After he hits, I was just gonna hit it with that.
So 17 hit.
17 does not hit this creature, as it just sort of it's the part of the body that it was using the bear was going to hit with its claws just sort of unnaturally arches upward and then goes back down when the claws are out of the way.
Okay. Can my bear still try to pin it to the ground somehow?
Grapple. It's a grapple check. I need to edit this so that way I don't roll a bunch of d20s. Just give me a second here. But you can roll an athletics with the bear, which is just strength, because it doesn't have a special athletics.
+5 for my bear.
We gotta get at that software, bro.
Please, natural 20. Come on, script gods. Oh, fuck you, script gods.
That's still not bad.
But this creature isn't strong. It's very dexterous, but it's not strong.
Yeah. See?
So it rolls 16. The bear manages to grab onto a part of its sinewy, fleshy parts and manages to grab onto it and hold it in place at the very least.
Is my reaction just the bear, or can I do something as well?
You can do something as well.
Okay. Well, actually, it's going to quickly use bomb charges and make the frisbee again.
Sure.
So that's 1 bomb charge, or was it 2? It's been long.
You can use 2 in 1 turn, is what I've decided.
Okay.
You can use 2 charges in 1 turn.
2 charges and acid grenades. So that's 2 acid grenades in the frisbee.
It is going to roll its dex, which is much higher.
That's not good.
Come on. Save.
Yeah, both saved.
So, yes, Phantasmal Force. What do I need to roll for that?
Intelligence.
Intelligence. Not a wisdom, so that's a little different.
Please be dumb.
He's not stupid, but he's not, like, encyclopedia guy. Encyclopedia man, I should say. He's a superhero. He's the lamest superhero.
Isn't that Captain Obvious?
Okay.
Shit.
So he rolled a 20.
You pass.
Yeah, Encyclopedia Man has a very high intelligence score. I'll just say that. Okay, so he manages to save. So he is currently stuck outside the barrier. However, stupidly or not stupidly, there is a creature that he can attack within his range. So he's going to do that. Okay. Sticks. Okay, he's going to try to hit the bear. Does 14?
Yeah, both hit.
Okay, great.
No, it's not.
For me, it is. Don't poo-poo on my parade.
Sir, if I can hit with the next phantasmal force, it should kill him.
Okay. Technically, it didn't take any damage after all of that damage it took. It's only because it's a very strong creature that is even animate at this moment. So...
But
1, 2.
Is minus 17, minus 20. My bear has 8 HP left.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
As its very long, spindly head just sort of slams into it, and then one of its weird, deformed, broken legs just sort of stretches over the back of its body and just sort of stabs into it. So yeah, it's got very weird.
It's our turns again, right? Because I would assume I would be in range at this point.
Yes, I will say that you have a chance to attack.
Okay.
If you wish, but it will interrupt your long rest. Just
That's
letting
fine.
you know.
I took a short rest. So
Yeah.
I will hold the monster him.
Hold monster? Okay. I didn't exactly hear what you said.
Yeah, I will hold monster him.
Yeah, that's okay. But since I see hold monster, I assume that's what you wanted to do anyway. Okay, wisdom. He's kind of wise, but it's not his highest stat. It's 12.
Okay, so he gets paralyzed. Every melee attack, or every attack actually, it's a critical hit on him. So if you attack him, it's all critical hit if you hit, but you have advantage on all your attacks. And I will use my 4th level spiritual weapon to attack him. That's my bonus action. With advantage. 27.
Yes.
It's also a critical hit, so the dice is doubled. So that's
If you're good at mathing, go ahead and do that.
that's another 14. So that would be
Come on, Ben. Do a little skitty pa pa pa.
40 damage total force.
Wow. 40? 40? Yes. Okay.
Because it's a 4th level slot and I use 3 dice.
Fair enough. It is still animate, or it appears like the hold monster spell would immediately fade if it died, so it is still held in place.
Yes.
If I have an action, I'm going to try and cast Phantasmal Force on it one more time.
Technically, the order that we've been using has been Pretty-Bin's characters first.
Yeah. I'll put my hand on. I'll try to tell him, pull your bear back.
It's paralyzed, and I got crits, so the bear is gonna use bite and claw, and since it has advantage, so
yeah, and they're also critical hits if they hit.
So does
the
9 hit?
The claws hit.
Claws hit.
Bite does not.
So that's 15 times 2. That's 30 damage.
It's only the dice that doubles, so it's another 10. So 25.
Okay, 25 though.
Thank you for telling me that before I added it.
Don't tell him that stuff.
It is still animate. Barely, but animate.
And then I'm gonna run at it. Since basically all my cantrips and anti-grenades are useless because of its plus 10. And I'm gonna hit it with the sickles.
Okay, you can try.
Sights, mean sights.
16 misses.
I guess
you have your bonus action. If you have your bonus action, you can use another one.
No, I don't have a bonus action. But I can use my luck points. I'm gonna use luck points.
I mean, okay.
Yeah, then another luck point. 22 hits, right?
Yes.
Yay.
Well,
You did it!
the dice is 5.
You are the best. You are the best.
Okay, that's beautiful. Is it
It's
dead
still
yet?
barely animate.
God.
Alright, so
Yes.
Phantasmal Force.
Gotta be the 17.
Okay.
Jesus, how did you roll so low?
Because I'm not a melee character?
25.
Jesus.
At the end of the turn, he can make another save against paralyzed. Every day.
Okay, paralyzed. So it has a +4 to try to get out of that. Natural 1. So
Well,
it is
that's
still
too bad, I guess.
paralyzed.
How did I read it? Actually, this is considered an undead, is it not?
Yes.
Yes,
Especially
because-
now.
Because I just read it has no effect on undead.
Jesus.
I knew that.
Let me read that. Where does
Yeah.
it say
Oh
that?
my god. We're all gonna die.
It
Oh,
does
no,
say the spell has no effect on undead.
I didn't realize that.
No, we're still okay because it can't get into the area that we've set
So,
up.
what do you want to do about it?
I'm gonna leave things as they are, except the monster gets to attack.
Sure.
And then it's the question, is it gonna destroy my beer? Or is it gonna destroy me?
Oh, it's gonna. You ran out. That's right. Since
Since I did the least damage to it, it's gonna attack me, right?
this character or this creature isn't in this form is not wise, as wise as it was before anyway. So it's just gonna see a new thing attempting to attack it. And it's going to attack the new thing. So, I mean,
Hey, at least you're saving your bear.
Hopefully.
if that thing gets destroyed, he has to spend like a fraction of the money you stole from him.
Well,
To
now
get
the
it
Yeah,
back.
which means
Wreck the-
hopefully.
Okay, nat 1, so that misses.
Yeah, but I'm not sure about the rules of Fade Away. Can I decide after he hits me or
What is this ability that you're using? I didn't.
So-
I'm not entirely sure. Is it a feat that you have?
no?
Okay.
Yeah, Fade Away.
Okay, when you take damage, so it's when you get hit. Yes, you can
Okay.
choose.
Yeah, well, then I'll take the damage and I immediately use Fade Away.
You become invisible until the end of your next turn, or until you attack.
Yep.
Deal damage, or force someone to make a saving throw. Once you use this ability, you can't do so until you finish a short or long rest. Okay. Yeah, so you turn invisible when you take damage.
So I do take the damage, but I turn invisible immediately after.
Okay. That is a very good ability.
It is. And this is the first time I've used it. And that is actually no joke.
So you take 14 damage as one of its sharpened bone, stretched out bone, sinew things attempts to stab you, and it does. Just sort of sinks into your skin, but as soon as it does, you turn invisible, and then it gets confused and retracts its weird appendage.
I walk behind the barrier with my movement.
Okay, fair. That is a fair thing to do. However, yeah, it was technically Tabaki's turn, but yes.
No, isn't it him now?
But you can, yeah.
Oh, the creature attacked. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so we're on a new turn. In that case, I will call out my guardians, and they will attack him. He needs to make a wisdom save.
Okay, wisdom. Since you found out his wisdom save, you've been exploiting that pretty hard.
Well, everything I have is pretty much wisdom saves.
Yeah. He
But
rolled a
he still
19.
makes it.
So he takes half the damage. So he takes 10. 10 necrotic damage.
Okay, and with that,
he also gets hit by the spear. Unless you were about to say he died.
yeah, I was about to say he died. So
Please tell me
The spear
something.
hits-
Still just
the
fucking
spear
hits him
hits him.
anyways.
yeah, the spear hits him.
Yeah,
As
we made it,
begins
guys.
to fall down and just disintegrate almost. It's very strange. Undead usually don't die that way, but it just sort of falls down and it turns into this black ooze on the floor.
So yeah.
Fun.
Then,
I mean, if you guys wouldn't have pinned it with that spell and gotten lucky, that it just dealt damage to the creature that was the point of contradiction between the spells, then yeah, that would have been a problem.
Hey, good job on us for picking up that Afridi.
Expo immediately walks over to, what was your character's name again, Timothy?
Lucius, I'm already
Lucius?
starting to pour platinum onto the floor.
Can you pour it into my bag of holding?
I'll start to do that as you get there, but there's still stuff on the floor.
Yeah, he just immediately, as soon as the thing falls
Oh,
down on the floor,
dead,
he
I'm
just
like,
goes,
I know what you want, and I will spill out 3,000 of the platinum.
Blank.
fair enough. He just
Okay,
sort of
then.
has the bag open above your head and there's money falling out of it.
And just like spilling it
You
out.
see this little gnome dancing happily, kind of.
After I seal my bag, I will help like start scooping up, and I'll cast. I think Mage Hand is a cantrip. Mage Hand, and help have it start helping pick up and put the rest of the platinum on the floor into his bag.
Yeah, so you just see some of the platinum start floating as this spectral hand starts placing it in there and then going back down, scooping up and placing it.
Expo feels a little bit better, but he still had more when he started.
There's always
Expo never gets satisfied.
Also
He could have
another
had
person
he
who's
could have had
currently-
20 million platinum and he would still not be satisfied.
But the thing
we're gonna get
is,
along.
there is still another person who has some of your platinum anyway, so
No.
you wouldn't have all of it anyway.
Actually,
No, he
not,
dumped it
because
up.
Giovanni threw it out on the floor,
That's why I picked up
and
most.
then he picked it up.
Oh, okay.
No,
But
I
I
kept
am
1/10 of it, of the complete amount of platinum.
But
Yeah, he
Expo
planned
is going to walk over to his accomplice in the money liberation, and he's going to ask him kindly if they maybe could split it a little bit.
Okay, so what you see is I was just standing over the corpse, breathing heavily. Was he saw blood pools swirling around me? That's my guardians and my spear until they just disappeared and I fall unconscious to the ground. He's exhausted.
Okay, well that's no problem. Then Expo will actually just walk over into his bag of holding and start scooping out some of his platinum.
Tabaki doesn't have a bag of holding.
Yes.
Then how in the hell have you been carrying around 5,000 platinum all this
You
time?
can ask me when I wake up. Or you can try and wake me.
I actually discussed this with him. And he does have it, but just not maybe where you expect.
It's not in your prison wallet, is it?
No, it's not.
Is it in your prison wallet? Because Expo will look.
I'm gonna check the new undead thing. Or the new dead
So,
undead.
The creature that you guys dispatched?
Mm-hmm.
As you walk over, Expo says, "Don't touch it."
I'm gonna stop. Why?
question. What the hell did I miss? Because it seems like we could use our bag of holdings once more.
Yeah.
We open the bag of holding and we kill the thing.
Yeah, you'll see in a minute. I'm gonna give a
Okay.
detailed description of what he sees, so
Okay.
you as a player will know what happened.
Why do I not touch?
As you're walking over to examine it, it's still technically it cannot go within the radius, so you'll have to walk outside of that, just so you're aware.
Yeah, no.
So technically, if an undead creature appears somehow next to you, it can still get you, because you're outside. So you walk over, and it just sort of looks like it looks kind of like kind of necromorphy. Its bones and muscles are sort of just stretched and elongated in an unnatural way.
Right.
Its face was like different parts of its skull were split, and they were each little tendrils that were making up its face. Obviously, this creature wasn't willing to die
Willingly?
peacefully, and decided to go all out if you guys were going to attempt to kill it anyway. So it had quite a bit of health. It added quite a bit of health by doing this, and it could deal more damage. However, it's sacrificed intelligence. You could tell that just from the way it was acting. It sacrificed wisdom and things of that nature. It's mental stats, if you will. Though it is turning into a goop soup on the floor, as it's sort of just sort of bubbling and weirdly congealing into this weird black purplish substance on the floor.
Well, that's disgusting.
You have a feeling that you wouldn't want to, if you made undead creatures, you wouldn't want to make ones, even if they're more powerful, you might not want to make ones like this. You'd find another way to make them more powerful.
Is that stuff toxic or damaging?
Do you put your finger in it?
Well, no, I'm asking back towards Expo, since he told me not to touch it.
Oh, okay.
I explained in what we've seen earlier with the T virus.
Yes. Technically, they had I don't know if you still have it or not. Was it in your bag of holding? Because technically, I would have forgotten about it.
Actually, yeah, it was.
I forgot about it. That's okay. I'll just say that you put it in a pouch that was on your belt rather than in your bag of holding. Just so that way that didn't happen. Because I don't want you to suffer for having to spill all your money on the floor.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He suffered enough.
I suffered enough.
Yes. Because technically then you guys would all be infected with the T virus. But anyway, it is a virus that it's classified as a disease under the rules. It came from another realm, and it makes people sick, and then when they die from the sickness, they come back as undead.
Okay. That's horrible.
That's why all the zombies.
That happened here?
Yeah, because we kind of stirred up too much shit, and one of the giants we were fighting got scared as hell and just say, "Enough, release it," and then a bunch of vials just started raining down. And everybody got infected and died and turned into zombies.
Okay. Well, I mean...
Though you do notice that there are a lot more humans than there were before, so you have a feeling that there's other ones that were already created before this.
I get that, but
All
let's
the
go
way
ahead.
Oh, yeah, go on. So all they from the distance in the tunnel you hear, except for us.
Okay, well, since we caused this, I mean, let's go ahead and make some omelets out of these eggs that have been broken. Take as much wealth and, magical items as we can and knowledge from this place and retreat to somewhere else without the darkness and zombies.
I mean, it's an idea. Any opinions?
I mean,
That
you
sounds
clearly
good.
only Expo were concerned about getting your bag back and your money.
Of course.
So, now that that's been accomplished, and we have this safe haven,
Then I'm gonna take a long rest.
oh, definitely we all need to.
And then we're gonna continue in the morning. Or we haven't been outside in many, many hours, so we probably don't know if it's morning or night.
Well, my father and my familiar are still outside. They could probably continue scouting as we rest.
I'm actually going to get Explo to make an intelligence check.
Just pure intelligence?
Yep, straight intelligence.
Oh.
Oh, I'll give it to you.
Aww.
You notice that when he's talking about someone who is his father, he keeps referring to him as father rather than any name or anything different. You find that a little strange. Whether or not your character reacts is up to you.
I think I've actually talked to him about it. Because Expo has been working with a lot of tieflings in his past, and none of them had anything to do with their dads. At all. Because that's just how it is. For some reason.
Well, you can ask him if you wish.
I
just
ask
thought
him.
I'd point out that detail.
I ask him why you're the only tiefling I've ever met and worked with that actually has connection to your father.
He stops and pauses for a moment and then, well, a colleague of mine was given or discovered a ritual that would allow me to summon him in the abyss. The timing of it and different factors. A smile towards Tabanaki, as he might say, the gods or the universe that we live in. I felt a pull towards him. And the ritual wasn't just a happenstance thing. And so I chose to follow that road and see where it would take me. So far, he's proven quite useful, but trust me, if at any moment he steps out of line or is more of a problem than a help, I'll just send him back to where he came from.
I trust devils more than I trust the police.
Shrug at that and then continue on.
Fair enough. So you guys are going to start your long rest, I assume?
Yeah, I'm out of spells.
Fair enough.
I'm
That
out of bomb
begins
charges.
happening.
I'm out of luck points. Almost.
When dawn comes, I do need to know so I can refresh my wand.
Okay. Technically, the planes, like I said, timey-wimey. It's a little weird, but I will let you know when it refreshes.
Okay.
Plus, it's weird because there's no official sun on many of these planes. So, yes, it is weird, but it still replenishes after a while.
Okay.
So, we are going to switch back to Adosan and Lily and the Afridi. And the Afridi is just gonna do whatever Erosan decides, and so is Lily.
Question: since when did the Ifriti come with us?
You were there. The Afridi went with you.
No, I wasn't there.
Yeah, you were.
I just
that's
thought
why-
Lily.
Yeah, that's
Lily
why I was
came
saying
with me.
to go to him when we did the healing spell, so that the Afridi could go with you and Lily.
Ah, there we go.
Lucius
Yeah.
asked
Oh,
you.
sure.
Asked him.
But yes, he is there. I just didn't mention him last time because it wasn't too important. Because he's just gonna do whatever you guys want to do. Which, unfortunately, Lonnie isn't here to control her character, so then it's
Mhm.
basically just you. What you want to do.
So Elsa just
Congratulations.
so Elsa just turns around and starts walking backwards and says, "So we're going to the farm. Just get some people and go back to this place that is more safe than out here, because that place is an enclosed area where no undead can go."
The Afridi says, "For you. For
Oh
you
yeah,
it is safe.
right.
For me it is not."
Oh yes, right. Elementals.
So if you have any friends who happen to suffer from my affliction apparently of being a elemental, they would not be more safe there.
Well, yes, I do. They're exactly there.
So why are we doing this?
To check up on them, to see how they're doing, to hopefully not find out that the place is overrun by more of these zombies with, zombies basically.
He nods. Alright, I guess that's good enough reason.
Then there's also a free, there's also a 3D like, well, not like you, but there's also a 3D there.
Are they from... Wait, I recognize you. As he starts looking at Edo-san. You're that
Hello.
moron who tried to lead us into a strategic plan and they never worked for months.
Well, excuse me for trying to try things out, but the shadow just kept on adapting onto my plans. They worked at first and then they went wrong. They worked at first and then they went wrong. And repeat.
We should have just marched on them and took them out.
Yeah,
We tried that a few times, to be fair, but you guys split off.
once we saw it went all haywire and bad, and, well, we survived that long cause of splitting off.
Whatever. Let's just get to where we're going. As he just stops talking.
Admit defeat.
He just stops talking.
So just looks at him like, admit it.
He's not gonna say anything. Unless if
Yeah.
you do something that is other than what you've been saying so far.
Elsa turns to Lily and just has the most devilish grin on his face and goes to her. He doesn't want to admit that I'm right.
It's nothing to do with right or wrong at this point. Let's just go.
I just love this. That if Lily was here, if Lolly was here, she would have been going on his head already.
Yes. Unfortunately, she is not, and I'm not perfect at when it comes to playing other people's characters.
Yeah, or destroying your voice.
That's true too. She just goes, this is stupid. Let's just get where we're going.
Yeah, that's true. The quicker we're done with it, the better, right?
Oh, I didn't hear what you said, sorry.
Bro, the quicker we get this done, the better, right?
The Afridi just sighs heavily.
Well, let's get going then. So just quiet and walks on.
You guys continue walking. And since everybody else is taking long rests, they continue doing so. And after a couple of hours of underground tunnel walking, you manage to find the manhole cover, which is about a few 100 feet away from the farmstead where you guys kept your giant eagles, and some of your allies stayed there as well. And you notice that there are a few other people who are gathered there that you don't recognize or didn't see there before, that are just sort of hanging around.
Okay, before we get too close, time to use my scope as a binocular.
Fair enough. You look closer and they seem friendly. It's not like they're walking around trying to eat each other. So that's a good sign.
Or okay. Not anything odd going on, not any shuffling, not any, well, weird stuff.
No biting, no shuffling, and no moaning.
No shadow as well, I guess.
Not either. At
Okay.
least not visible.
Okay. Still a bit on guard, but getting closer.
Okay, you start getting closer, and you see somebody split off from the group and start walking away. It's one of the Ifriti that you rescued who were not very happy that you just took them away from the fight to rescue people. Apparently, perhaps they went out into the city and tried to find people while you guys were gone, and they succeeded in finding some people. And that's the reason why there's more people than before.
Yeah, so if people
And he
are...
starts walking away. It looks like they're doing something else.
Yeah, so I just let him do his job and then goes towards the group and just see if they are doing okay and just to see how the senses are, so to say.
It seems as though everybody who's there, the sense of the group is they're as if they're in the middle of an apocalypse, which they are.
Yeah.
But
So
their morale is higher now that they're in a safer place, but they're still scared.
okay. Question. Everyone is elemental, correct?
There are Ifriti here, but there are also Erokokra, which are classified as humanoid. They're winged humanoids. And there's a few other races that you're noticing that are just sort of standing around, but they don't appear to be warriors in any sense of the word.
So everyone that could go into the zone, but 3D would be. Yeah,
the Ifriti would be stuck there anyway.
Yeah, I'm thinking of a plan. I'm thinking of a plan. It's a bit of a crazy plan. So the whole how do you say word no-go zone for the elementals is like the total sewer pipe, so to say, right?
It's similar to sewer levels in this sort of setting, though it technically is not a sewer. It's just sort of maintenance tunnels that are underground to allow the denizens of this area to inspect the foundations of the city, which is built on top of clouds, to make sure that everything's in good condition.
So I'm gonna make something quick here. So just for my example's sake. So this yellow box is the no-go zone for the Afriti, so to say, or an undead and all that jazz.
Okay, wait, I can't see what you're doing. So
Oh, it's to the left of the giant rock and above the orange box. To the right of the rock. To the right. My bad.
Oh, I'm not on the same screen as you, so that explains it. Where are we?
The door with the hole.
Okay, here we are. I was on the wrong screen. Just give me a second.
Explains a lot.
Okay, yes, I
ping-
see where you are now.
Yeah, I'm pinging it. So yeah, the yellow box is the no-go zone, so to say, and the red is just the sewer pipe.
Yes.
So my idea was that if there is, let me also draw that in if I can find my paint tool again. And my paint tool wants to work with me. No. So okay, this orange cube is a sewer hole just for easiness and laziness. So my idea was to get everyone here and have basically a giant wall here so that, well, everyone is safe, but our 3D are kinda locked up.
So you're going to build an improvised wall on the outside of the radius?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, you can try to do that.
Since the undeads and elementals can't go through the wall.
Yes, they can't go in the radius. And yes, this is accurate because it is taking up the entire passageway. Therefore, if they start on this side, let's say, they cannot get to this side without going above ground and getting to the other side somehow.
Yeah. So that's
So,
kinda a risk as we would take it, yeah.
if you put an improvised wall here, they cannot go this way if an enemy comes on this side of the wall.
Mm-hmm. So that was, yeah.
So, it's an idea, but whether or not they're going to be willing to do that is a different story.
Yeah, so I'm going to put it up to them. So letting them also know the risks, but also the pros and cons from doing this, so to say.
The Afridi do not seem like they want to go there. Everybody else does because the way you describe this area is great. So they want to go there, but the Afridi don't like this because then they're trapped. So they would rather hold the farmstead, and then if they need to run away or retreat, they have an area to do so.
Aristotle understands, but he does want them to stay safe, and so what would they suggest to, so to say, fortify this farmstead?
Well, as you can see, a couple of them have brought some debris in from the city, so they're fortifying walls with stone debris, and they're sort of boarding up doors to make places more safe. And they're making sure that they have multiple exits from each place in case one exit is blocked by enemies, things of that nature. They're very militarized in their strategy, if you will.
So look all the Afriti over. Any rangers, ranged people know how to do range or
You
whatever?
know that some Ifriti have magical abilities, and you wouldn't be able to tell that just by looking at them if they have them. But you assume that they can all produce fire and things of that nature. So they all do have some sort of range if they need it.
So I'm just gonna be bold and ask them, is there anyone that can do ranged damage at range?
They all raise their hands because they can all
Okay.
produce fire at range.
Okay, but who is good at it, so to say? Who can accurately hit a target like 9 out of 10 times?
A couple of them put their hands down, but there's still quite a few.
Okay, just checking.
And some of them do have like bows and arrows and things of that nature, but they all still can produce flame. So
Yes, so okay, just checking, just to make sure that go know that you can stay at a distance from these things, which you want to do.
And one of them says, "We'll let our rescuers know of this place. Do you have directions?"
Oh yeah, they can follow me back, but I'm gonna come back because I don't feel like just abandoning. Well, abandoning would be a bit of a big word. Just leaving you guys here.
He takes out a sheet of what's the word? Papyrus, I guess. And just sets it on the table and says, "Show me where this is. The
So,
safe zone."
so I still have that half-burned piece of the map.
Yep.
I can use that as for a few points of reference, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I use that and draw the rest added to it.
Okay. And you sort of just show where the underground paths are, and you also relay that if they find a different underground path that you didn't draw, then it's highly possible that they can still get there, but they may need to take a route that you aren't aware of.
Yeah. Like you go a different path, then it's not on me if something bad happens.
Alright, he takes that into account, and he just sort of rolls back up his papyrus and puts it in his storing case, whatever he has. I don't know. This is a character that is completely NPC and non-fleshed out, so he has a thing that he puts his paper in. Either way, so yeah, he puts his paper in his thing. Is there anything else you wish to do here before taking everyone back?
Does anyone need some medical care or healing or any case or any way?
All of them pretty much have some sort of wound on them. You wouldn't be able to heal them all, I can say that much.
Well, it's a good thing I'm not alone.
There are a few things you can do. Most of them do not have severe wounds, but you do notice something. Actually, I'm going to get you to roll a medicine check. Just medicine.
Oh boy. Let's see, medicine. Where did you go?
You sounded like Link from The Faces of Evil. Oh boy! And YouTube poops, by the way. Okay, 10. You do notice that some people appear to be sick, which kind of puts alarm bells off in your head.
Anything like just the regular old cold or something, or
I mean,
something?
like, they have to lay down and remain laying down because they're sick.
So Harrison walks up to them and, well, ask Lily to...
There's 3 of them.
Yeah, Harrison just calls them together and goes to Lily to have a medical exam, so to say.
Alright. She looks them over. She has to roll a medicine. Does somebody have her sheet open? Make it a little easier.
Let's see if I have access to it. No, I do not.
Lily. Okay, I'll just open it. No problem. Oh, I should give you access, but for now it's fine.
What did you want her to roll?
Medicine.
14. She's pretty wise.
Okay, so yes, 14. She looks them over. They appear to be exhibiting symptoms that were described that are relevant or whatever the word is, towards the virus that you guys have encountered.
Oh boy. Okay. How many lesser restorations can Lily do?
I don't have the sheet open. Ben, you mind?
Yeah. She has at the moment 2 lesser restorations and 1 first level spell because she has not rested yet.
Okay. I have 1 lesser restoration, so we heal them up because we don't want them to go sick and turn this whole camp into an undead force.
Fair enough. You cast Lesser Restoration on each of them. One appears to be a half-elven lady, and there's 2 Aarakocra, which you are not adept at discerning their gender. They, as soon as you cast Lesser Restoration on them, they were like covered in sweat and obviously suffering from some sort of disease. And they just sort of breathe heavily and then seem to fall instantly asleep. So they seem to be cured. Whereas before they were just sort of suffering heavily.
Okay, Lily, I think we need to check everyone before, well, things go worse downhill.
Okay, if you want to check
So,
everyone,
we have
here's
these
what's going to
3.
happen.
Oh, yeah, sure.
A group of them are going to refuse to be checked, because this always happens in apocalypse scenarios.
Mhm.
People get paranoid. So there's a decent third of them that are just going to refuse. The rest of them you easily check over. They do not have any wounds on them that would indicate that they're being infected.
Or any symptoms of the
No.
sort. Okay,
They don't have it.
we kind of have to temporarily separate them, and well, Erison will explain why they need to be checked over.
Okay, you attempt to explain it to them. Roll a persuasion.
Oh boy, my worst one.
Oh boy!
Oh boy.
All right, 13.
Decent.
There's still a few obstinate people. I'll get you to make a medicine check at a distance for them, which has a slightly higher DC.
Rumble. 11.
Unfortunately, you cannot discern from that distance. However, the other ones that you managed to convince, they all mostly seem fine. One of them has an injury that you're kind of worried about. Lily is going to roll a medicine on that one.
Sure, give me a sec. Yes, I can do that. That does need to open up for me. Medicine. That's a 14.
Okay. She looks at this person and says that they're fine. It's a different type of infection. As long as they rest up and keep the wound clean, they'll be fine. But it doesn't seem like it's caused by a T-virus infectee.
Mm-hmm.
However, there are still a total of 3 people who just refuse. They won't do it.
Okay, then, well, if they don't want to do medical examination, Lily can do lay on hands, and lay on hands 5 points expended from that has the same effect as lesser restoration nearly.
That's true. However, as soon as she approaches, they just back off. They don't want her to approach. And Lily has a forceful personality, but she's not that
forceful. Okay, so Arson just tells them, It's better to prevent than to, well, fix.
They're unconvinced due to your low roll on persuasion, unfortunately.
Erso just points to the city. Want that to happen right here? And keep going.
And I'm gonna get you to roll a persuasion check for something different now. So go ahead.
Okay. Yay, my 1. Oh, my 4, I mean.
Yeah, your persuasion is actually decent. They run away. All 3 of them. You can give chase, or you can choose to just let them go.
I'm just gonna make it. I'm gonna chase them, but not like run chase them. No, I'm gonna let them run themselves tired.
Okay.
But
you follow them for about.
I do try to
You
keep
follow
up.
them for about 15 minutes, and 2 of them collapse, and the other one sort of panics and starts looking around, and he trips over something, and he manages to get the attention of an undead, who starts approaching all 3 of them.
I just take aim at the undead and splatter his brain out. Hopefully.
Well, roll to hit.
Oh, I already clicked. Oops, that's a 27.
Yeah, 27 hits.
That's
Alright,
a
it
26.
gets severely injured and turns its attention away from them and towards you. And starts walking towards you. You have 1 turn to do something before it reaches you.
Well, then next turn I'm gonna shoot again.
Okay, go ahead.
That's 31.
Alright, you shoot it.
Yeah, that's dead.
Alright, its neck gets severed and its head just sort of falls onto the ground and it just sort of falls to its knees and then just down. It
So
seems incapacitated at the very least.
Yeah, so Ersa just walks over towards the tree and then just says, "That was dangerous and stupid. I am supposed to do that."
No, don't touch me. The one that's actually conscious is saying to you. The other 2 are just like laying on the ground unconscious.
Ersa just walks up to him and just this is a Freety we're talking about, right?
No, this guy is he's a dwarf.
I just walk up to him and just pat him on the cheek. You really want to be like, well, that guy? As Ersa points towards the zombie now decapitated.
He starts trying to back away from you, which gives you an opportunity attack.
I just hold him by the boot.
You try. He tries to escape you.
Mm-hmm.
Athletics, then if you're trying to grapple him.
Yeah,
Really?
it's athletics.
You're asking Spaghetti Arms to hold back a dwarf.
He has a low bonus, if that helps. So he gets grabbed. Like I said, they're not warriors.
Yeah, I'm just holding by the boot. I'm just holding by the boot, like, I expected more.
He goes, fine, and he gives up. He doesn't resist you anymore. So you can roll a medicine check on him.
I only mean the best for you.
He just sits there and waits for you to roll a medicine check on him if you wish.
12.
You don't see any serious injuries on him.
Yeah,
or injuries that would indicate that he's infected. However, the other 2 are unconscious on the ground.
Yeah, I just checked them over.
Okay, 2 medicine checks.
9 and a 14.
9, you don't see anything. but they're unconscious for a reason, and that kind of disturbs you.
Mm-hmm.
However, the other one has a clearly infected bite wound. And maybe they just didn't want you to see it.
I also just
for
rubs
whatever
his,
reason.
I also just rubs his temples. Goes, should have seen that one coming.
However, like I said, the other one is unconscious, but you don't know why.
So I also just looks at the dwarf. You go get my halfling. Lily's a halfling, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You go get my halfling friend and tell her to come over here as quick as possible.
Okay, and he does so. They come back within 5 minutes because they ran away and then they were walking away for part of it. So she's running
Mhm.
back. So they quickly get to where you are,
So I
and
tell.
she casts lay on hands on the lay on hands that gets rid of disease on the one person who's obviously infected.
Yeah, I
However,
just
the
tell
other
Lily.
person she doesn't know yet.
Yeah, I also, well, she can do medicine check, but I just tell Lily just to do it just to be safe.
Okay. Get her to roll a medicine check first.
Okay.
Just because she's gonna look the person over anyway.
17.
There's a reason why you didn't notice. There is a very small cut on the back of this person's shoulder. And it looks like it has like pus and there's like a small pustule forming nearby. It seems as though this person wasn't infected by direct contact with an undead. Perhaps something else happened to them. So that's why you passed it over. But she does it anyway. The person is healed.
Okay, then Arison picks the lighter of the two up.
Okay. One is a human and the other is a gnome, we'll say.
Yeah, the gnome.
And
Definitely.
all right. So Lily is much stronger than you and looks like she's having an easier time with the human than you are with the gnome. Either way, you guys get back to the camp. And I'm going to say, just to expedite this a little bit, the people who want to go with you are going to go with you. And they'll take the gnome for you. So that way you don't have to carry the gnome. Because we know that you're having such a hard time with that.
Yeah, spaghetti arms.
Either way, yeah, the people who are supposed to go with you are going to go with you. That would actually benefit from the safe location. And the Afridi are going to stay behind.
I just tell them if things go right to just, well, follow the map.
Okay. And they listen to you as you begin to head back.
Leading the group back towards where we were.
And some of them, the unconscious people, some of them have makeshift stretchers that are being lifted by some of the other civilians. However, the two that you just found unconscious, they're still unconscious, but they need to be lifted by people. Just lifted by them rather than on stretchers. They didn't have time to make them for them because that just happened. So there are a couple of strong on the stronger side civilians that are helping with that.
Yes, so as we're going, Arison also explains that not only the sewers, but however far high does it go is also safe.
The radius is what he's looking for. Their tobacco.
The
radius
radius
on that
from my
spell.
spell. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
60 feet.
Yeah, so
Okay.
60 feet from the center of this, well, weird looking location. It looks like a blood ritual because it is a blood ritual. It's safe.
They nod. They don't care if it's a blood ritual at this point.
Yeah.
That isn't the problem. The problem is they need to be safe.
So if you don't want to stay in the sewers, you can go topside, but remember, 60 feet is the limit.
They nod. They're probably not going to do that, but it's good that you told them.
Yeah.
Technically, there is a 30 feet hemisphere, if you will, above ground. So the tallest part is 30 feet up.
The
Because
tallest
the
part is
inside,
60 feet up.
yes,
Right.
but you're underground,
Oh, yeah.
and it goes
okay.
30 feet up. So
Yeah.
then there's 30 feet above that, above ground.
Yeah, then we're on the same page.
Technically, I just noticed this, but you guys hollowed clouds, or hallowed ground clouds. So that's an interesting point that you can take with you.
We just made a part of heaven more heaven.
Either way. But yes, they are clouds technically that you did the ritual on. So yeah, the clouds are the hollowed ground technically. So but yes, the road above is also in the radius, so you can climb up there and or fly up there or get a wish, and you will be able to still though there are a few things that may be noticing soon that there's a place where they can't walk suddenly for no apparent reason above ground, so just be aware of that for later. So you guys are starting to head back. However, you guys taking your long rest, I need you three to make a perception check.
Disadvantage because they're resting, or?
No, just regular. Because it is quiet down here.
There it is.
Let's see.
Do I roll damage now?
No, that's just to see. Unless if your gaze
I'm gonna be
causes
right back.
damage, then causes damage, then yes. Okay.
Expo
so
just
Did I
looks
forget
around and
that?
then suddenly he sees a PC screen in a small apartment, and then he focuses back into the sewers.
yes. For a moment, he sees something that he should not see.
Hmm.
And it sort of confuses him for a moment.
A small glitch in the matrix.
Lesser men would turn into madmen from what you just saw. But I'll give you the benefit of the doubt and say that you're fine for now.
Do a wisdom saving roll.
Yeah. I'll give it to you for now. However, you begin to hear what sounds like above you, and you hear like a squishing sound, maybe, and and it keeps making this noise for a long time, like minutes. This squishing sound, and then it seems to be coming from above.
How big was the radius of the dome again?
60 feet.
60 feet.
60
in
feet,
each
okay,
direction.
It is 60.
So even if it actually was
So
at the edge of the bubble, I would still be able to hear it then?
Yeah.
Okay. I kind of just shake the others just to notify them of the noise. And I ask Tabaki a little bit worryingly, is there something wrong with the spell?
Should not
Or
be.
Lucius.
We should be fine.
Lucius.
Go back to sleep now.
You were in a deep sleep, and him bothering you, which is why you rolled such a low perception. But after you get slightly perturbed from him waking you, then you realize the information he's telling you.
I go back to sleep.
Can I do a nature check or something to see if I can maybe identify the creature by noise?
I'll say Arcana would be
Arcana?
the appropriate one.
Disadvantage or advantage? I mean, disadvantage is it just noise or normal?
Normal.
28? Is that good enough?
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
This is run-of-the-mill undead. Just making groaning noises as it's scraping itself again. Thinks it can get through but cannot.
Well, in that case, I just go back to sleep.
Alright. Everybody's asleep. Again. An hour passes. Another perception check.
We keep sleeping. 16.
17.
Oh, Tim's not even at his chair.
Tim?
Yeah,
So he didn't even hear my
keep going.
description of him getting upset. Okay.
Look at little Tim, sleeping so soundly. Wake up, Tim, wake, there's a monster.
But yeah, let's
so,
keep going.
Question: the dripping that I heard from the manhole before I said with Lily and Afriti to run, did they fight that? Did they fight that?
No.
No.
Fuck.
We fought the thing
You
in
don't
my
know
bag
what
of
that
holding.
is. You definitely
before,
did not wait long enough to find out what that was.
Just before Tim comes back, how much HP did the creature in my bag of holding actually have?
It had 400 and... What was it? 430? I'm pretty sure.
Oh, so it only had 430. Well, in that case... Jesus, Matt.
Well, you
bad.
gave it time to heal itself by holding it in the bag of holding, so...
that's...
Technically was damaged.
So you're saying
was
that
our
when it
fault.
jabbed itself with the vial, it would actually have spawned with a few minor damages we dealt to it?
Yes.
Okay.
It would have had that damage. That damage would have carried over.
Okay.
However, you had it in there for so long, and it had nothing, literally nothing else to interact with around it, so it just healed itself. So,
What'd I miss?
yes, you did miss something. I'm gonna just click this thing on your sheet.
When you're sleeping.
So here's what happened. Unfortunately, since you weren't here for a second, and I didn't realize you weren't here.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, you nat one-ed it. Great! So, your character was awoken when he was trying to have his long rest, a few hours into his long rest. You were in a deep sleep when you were nudged and you were told that there was a noise above you. You heard a noise. It sounded like an undead pressing itself against a barrier above. It couldn't get past because that's how the spell works. And it was just sort of pressing itself into it and making noise. However, you were slightly perturbed and went back to sleep. And now it's an hour later. So that's what happened.
Okay.
So, an hour later, perception. So, highest is 17. Wonderful. Explo, the noise kind of bothers you at this point in the hour. And you just sort of wake up slightly. And you look at... Well, it seems to be within the radius. You see a person that isn't the human and isn't the Aarakocra, just sort of standing, looking at you guys.
Where?
About 20 feet away from you guys. Just sort of standing there. Looks like a human, probably.
I put my hand in my alchemy pouch and I start approaching it.
So you stand up and start approaching it?
Yeah.
Alright, as soon as you stand up and look at it, and make yourself obvious that you're looking at it, it just sort of goes... and it turns into a bunch of goop, and it goes away.
Can I do another Arcana check?
Sure.
Okay. 14.
You do get something. That wasn't a person, nor was it a good thing that just went away. Because now it's gone. You don't see it anymore. And it wasn't a person, meaning it's a thing. It's an entity.
Just for asking, does my bear regen health, or should I be repairing it?
Technically, as part of your long rest, it gets repaired.
Okay. So, but it still
the
has...
long rest with you, then it gets repaired.
Okay. I basically just commanded to stay at high alert.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to go back to sleep.
Okay. A few seconds later, your bear sort of just uses one of its paws to nudge you. The thing is there.
I look at it and I ask, who are you and what do you want?
As soon as you say that, it...
I just shook my head and tried to go back to sleep.
And since your bear is still on high alert, a few seconds later, your bear nudges you again. Because the thing is there.
Can I, like, try and look at it stealthily to see if I can get more information before it just disappears again?
Yes, you can. Just roll a stealth. Yeah, it doesn't notice. It just stands there. Like, for 5 minutes, you watch it as it just stands there looking at the group.
Arcana again?
Sure. You can roll and see if you get
Come on.
anything more. No. Unfortunately, you don't get more than what you got before. It's ominous.
Am I awake?
Unfortunately, your perception check, your original perception check was a natural 1.
Okay.
Because I rolled it for you. Because
Alright.
it took too long. But that's okay.
Well, I also rolled a 1.
Yeah. You didn't roll very high either. So, yeah, you're in a sleep, unfortunately. Unless if he wakes you up, you're not awake.
Yeah, I didn't know if his activity
Well,
is like.
just so you're aware, I do have dark vision.
So do I.
Yeah, I'm telling Matt.
Oh.
Yeah.
He said it was standing in the dark, but I do have dark vision. I think it's I am a rock gnome, so it's the dark vision type that makes I'm able to see colors in the dark.
Okay. It doesn't change what you see.
Okay.
It just changes that you can see it in full color. So you see that it's got human skin. It looks relatively normal. Its skin is a bit pale, but other than that, it looks like a normal person until it just sort of goops away when it notices that you're looking at it.
I try and ask it again. What the fuck do you want? Or just get the fuck out of here.
It goops again. And at this point, since you're being a little bit louder, I'll give both of them a chance to roll perceptions. Alright, Tabaki, you awaken as you hear Explo yelling and then you look over and you see nothing. He's like talking to nothing.
I go back to sleep again.
Alright. But this time I'll say that you have advantage if he starts yelling at you again. Okay.
Oh.
Explo?
I'm not satisfied. I'm gonna walk towards Tabaki and tell him about the entity.
So Tabaki, you can try to sleep through this, but you do sense and hear that he is talking to you.
Ah. And what is it you wish with this creature?
Just before I answer that, is the spell that Lucius made, is that still active?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not teleporting then, kind of. I just tell him
No,
about
it
the
is
creature.
not. It's not a teleporting creature.
I just tell him about the entity and what it's doing, and it's constantly reappearing and just staring at us. And as soon as it sees that we were looking at it, it disappears again.
Yes, it's not violating the spell's effects.
Very well. I'll sleep lightly. And I go back to sleep.
Okay, fair. Explo, he appears to be waiting for its next appearance, if you will. It still isn't there. Like, as you look back, it's not there anymore.
Yeah, well, tell him that I'll try to stealthily wake him up again if it reappears, because my bear will give me the warning. So just go back to sleep.
Okay, he's already asleep. Like, he doesn't even respond. He's, like, snoring.
Well.
Alright, you go back. Like, a minute later, your bear just goes... just touches you.
I stealthily wake up Tabaki and...
Okay, if you're doing something stealthily, then you're gonna have to roll stealth. It's a given with stealthy things.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah,
okay,
to see if you are not like sit up and just shove him, or just like tap, 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 tap.
Yeah, I'm just tapping.
Yeah, but when you start moving, it appears that the creature notices that you moved and vanishes. So when you wake him up, there's nothing there.
Has it been reappearing at the same spot every time?
Yes, in the same spot, yes.
I make my bear walk over to that spot, and if it reappears again, fucking bite it.
Fair enough. So do you stay awake?
No.
Okay, you go back to sleep. A few minutes later, you hear or a few seconds later, you hear your bear making agitated noises. Like it doesn't know what to do based on your orders. You can look over and see what it's doing.
Yeah, look over and see what it's doing.
It appears that a half-formed human figure is appearing. And it doesn't know what to do because it's not like the whole thing is there. So it's just sort of confused as to what to do.
I
say, sort of expected the whole thing to be there.
I say fucking bite it.
Okay. So as you yell that, Tabaki, perception, and Lucius, perception.
Jesus.
Character is just tired.
I am.
Alright, Tabaki, you awaken and you see half a person. Standing there, and a bear standing behind it.
Congratulations.
Yes.
So you see it.
I will look at it. Does it seem like it's hostile?
It's not attacking yet.
Can I make an insight check to see if it's gonna try and eat
It's a
us?
pair of legs. You cannot make an insight on that.
Oh, it's a pair of legs.
Yes.
I thought it was the upper body.
The upper body is not present currently.
Okay, I would like to make a nature check to see if I know what it is.
Okay.
Let's see. With my super high nature of
0. But you still natural 20 did. Yes. This such a natural 20. Okay. You don't know the specifics of the creature because this creature does not exist in the universe you come from. However, it appears to be an amalgamation of smaller creatures that appear to be a human. These creatures keep compiling themselves on top of each other, which is why it appears to just sort of go and vanish, and then go and come back. These smaller creatures are amalgamating into the form of a human for some reason, and just sort of watching you. You're not sure why, based on the description. And these creatures could possibly be hostile, you're not sure. But you know that it's because it's a bunch of smaller creatures forming into something else. That's why it can sort of disappear and reappear.
I tell Explo, it's just a bunch of roaches, and I go back to sleep.
Okay.
Do you still order your bear to attack?
No, I just make my bear come back to me, and then I climb on top of my bear and try to get some sleep.
Okay.
I don't like roaches.
Take your bear off of alert mode?
No.
Okay, fair enough. It sort of just less than 5 seconds after you climb on top of it, it just sort of does this shoulder nudge to you, and you see that the thing is fully formed and standing.
If I throw a fire grenade at it, will it fuck up my long rest?
Yes.
Fuck.
If you make any attack towards anything, it screws up your long rest.
Okay, I tell my bear to keep watch, but if it seems that it's gonna become hostile, wake us up and start fucking eating all the things.
Fair enough. And I'm gonna take your wording. As you know, I'm taking your wording in your orders very specific. So
by
keep that in
eating,
mind.
I mean biting and clawing at it.
Yes, that's fair. Well, in order for it to eat it anyway, it would have to kill it. But yes. I understood that part, but yes, the wording is going to be very specific. Okay, so you go back to sleep. I'm gonna need you all to roll a perception check. Again. All 3 of you.
Hey.
Sometimes I did not do
Yeah, I had
anything.
advantage, right? So
No, you had advantage if I was screaming at it.
Yeah. You had advantage if he was screaming, but that's fine.
okay. Yeah, it's
the first one is higher anyway. Tabaki, you wake up as you start hearing what sounds like reptilian noises in the distance.
Okay.
And you sort of look over and you see the fully formed human being that is sort of stalking you guys at the moment. And it's just sort of looking at you.
Yes. I will continue to ignore it.
Fair. However, everybody else doesn't hear the noises yet, because he rolled higher than you guys, so he gets to hear it first. So, yeah, you go back to sleep, I assume?
Yeah.
Alright, you go back to sleep. Since Explo also succeeded, a few minutes after he hears that noise and goes back to sleep, you hear this weird reptilian noise. And then you look over and you see that weird creature looking at you guys.
Can I do any kind of check to establish?
You can. Nature. See if you can discern the noise. Sounds similar to lizard folk. But that's the best you can do, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't have comprehend languages or anything, so I can do that much.
It doesn't sound like they're talking a language, it just sounds like they're guttural growling noises that lizard folk make.
Is it standing in the same spot, or is it approaching
Yeah,
closer?
the creature moved back to the same spot that the bear was. It was slightly in front of the bear because the bear was in the way, but it moved back to where it was before.
Okay. Do as our vice to Becky. Ignore it and go back to sleep.
Okay. Alright. Lucius, you
Mhm.
also succeeded. However, you are the last to hear it. As you hear noises that sound like they're within 200 feet
Mm-hmm.
of where you're currently resting. Sounds like a reptilian noise, reptilian growling or grunting or something. And this weird creature that you are not told about ever, is just sort of this person that you don't recognize is just sort of staring at you.
Okay. Just kind of watch it as it watches us.
It's just sort of staring. Unless if you make an obvious movement to indicate that you're looking at it, then it won't do anything.
No, just lay there and watch it.
Okay. You still hear these reptilian noises that appear to be getting closer.
Oh, wait.
Okay. Sounds like they're about 150 feet away at this point. If you continue waiting, 100 feet. If you continue waiting, 50.
At this point, I'll stand up.
At 50?
Yeah.
Okay. You stand up. Starts getting closer. About, I'll say 30.
I'll kind of nudge the other guys awake.
Alright.
Still
Well,
just
30
note
technically
that,
would be within the radius, so that's impossible. No, wait. No, wait. Never mind. It is 30. So it is within the radius. Which kind of spooks you.
That's why I wake everybody up.
Dad?
Yes, I see your message. Just a second. It may be. I don't know who you're thinking, so I have no idea.
Maybe.
So yeah, it's just rope.
Everybody is awake now. And you hear these weird reptilian noises. And they sound really close. In fact, too close. And as you guys sort of look over, since you both have, well, technically, Tim's character has dark vision as well. You see these weird humanoid reptilian creatures just sort of skulking in the darkness about 30 feet away from you. And since you guys are all awake, it seemed like they stopped making noise and they stopped moving.
I'm gonna start slowly moving towards them.
Okay. Lucius begins slightly moving towards the creatures that you all can see.
Before you leave, I ask you, so what do you want to do about them?
Do you ask this like out loud?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay. You hear, and the three reptilian creatures that you can see just sort of back up slightly.
I'm going to. Let me see something real quick. How close are they?
They are now that they backed a little bit. They're about 40 feet away.
Well, I was moving up. Was I able to close enough of a distance that I can potentially get within 15 feet of them?
Unfortunately, since Tabaki spoke to you, it spooked them and they moved back, so you made no distance. So you're 30 still.
I am going to cast cantrip light right above them.
Okay. You cast light, and they sort of go, and they stand up on their hind legs. They kind of look humanoid, except they have very vicious-looking claws. And all three of them are going to lunge towards you, and this begins turn order. So initiative.
Yeah.
We still have our characters on the map.
So I assume I have 1 point of exhaustion at this point.
Yes.
See, this time I'm actually going to remember to click my icon.
Okay. So I
Ooh.
need.
That is about the best initiative roll I've had this whole campaign. I think all my initiatives have been under 12 so far.
Okay.
I do have a quick question. Since we were taking a long rest, the hours between when we started to now, I don't regain any spells, right?
Yes, you were sleeping for approximately 6 hours.
So do I regain that?
We were 1 hour away from a long rest. That's nice.
Okay.
But yes, any short rest abilities would have happened.
Oh, they would have?
I don't know what I'm supposed to do with my bear's HP in a short rest.
Would the short rest ability has happened 6 times?
Technically, yes.
I'm asking for the wizard.
Yeah, I know. I need to know because it's very important for me.
Yes, you do regain the spell slots, yes.
How much AP would my mech bear be able?
6 times.
How much HP would your bear have?
Yeah.
Depends on your hit dice, as I would imagine he has the same amount you do.
My hit dice?
Well, he would have hit dice just for the bear's die, probably.
Yes, technically, your bear can heal itself. It has an auto repair
hit points,
function.
and it says 5d10s plus 15 on the sheet. Does that mean I just roll a bunch of d10s and it gets that health back, or?
Yeah, if you wanted to use them all, it's a total of 5d10 plus 15.
Okay, then I'm gonna roll 5d10s. 37.
Plus 15, so.
Yeah, technically the bear has an auto repair function. So does DT, but Edo-san prefers doing the repairs himself.
Gets up to max HP, so that's nice.
Cool. So,
I don't guess I get any spells back from short rests, do I? Or
No.
devices
No.
don't get. No.
the only
Well,
reason he does is because he has Arcane Recovery, which is a particular ability.
Yeah.
Ooh, 4. 4. Yeah, about 4. I'm gonna do 3.
So I still haven't rolled for my creature here. Okay, 22. Perfect. Which means the creatures get to go first. Yay!
Awesome.
Lovely.
Just gonna use the Safridi picture as the picture.
Yeah, that's fun.
How many are there?
There are 3,
3.
not including the weird creature that is looking at you guys.
They're tiny.
They are not. They are considered medium-sized creatures.
The small shits that made the humanoid.
Oh, the small ones? The small things that made the human?
Mhm.
Those things are considered tiny, yes. But the human is considered medium. So when they amalgamate together, they are considered a medium creature. Okay, 22.
Well, let's fuck them up quick so we can get back to long resting.
And restart that whole 8 hours. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Woo!
Unfortunately, that's how it works. So, 2 of them are going to, let's see. Unfortunately, these things are slightly smarter than the creatures you've been interacting with. Let's see. Yeah, they're gonna target the guy who created this space in the first place. So 2 of them. Just gonna hop onto Backy.
Yeah.
Or they're gonna try to. They're doing a lunging attack.
Backsy.
Yeah.
That's not nice
And-
of them.
Becky.
2.
Miss and miss.
Neither of those hit.
Yeah, they both miss.
They both leap towards you with unrivaled speed as they just sort of leap out, and their hands have these really long claws on them. And they try to grab at you and knock you over, but you manage to just sort of walk out of the way. You're just sort of walking out of the way, and the other one is going to... Yeah, it's going to target the new one. It doesn't know what this thing is capable of, so target the new one. So Lucian, or Lucian, yeah, Lucian, or Lucius. Lucius, I always get that mixed up. For some reason, Lucian. I don't know why I got that in my mind. 26 to hit.
Oh, you're hitting.
Okay.
You're
so he's
hitting
going to
hard, boy.
He knocks you over as part of the attack, knocking you prone.
There's no roll to avoid that.
Nope.
It's
If
probably
he hits you, it knocks you prone. It's kind of like a charge attack.
Sweet.
So, and he deals damage with his claws. Not +7. There we go. Take 15 damage as he knocks you to the floor and just sort of hits you with his claws as he does so.
Okay.
They sort of look like humanoid lizards with their head in a weird position on their body,
Just
sort of
wait a
hunched
minute,
over with
Matt.
no neck.
Matt?
What?
Just wait
Sorry?
a minute. Did you roll for them to not hit any of my minefields before they walked in?
These creatures are smarter than the other creatures, which means that they are aware of the traps because of the minuscule creatures that led the way there,
Aw.
which they can easily just go over your traps and not activate them. Unfortunately. By the way, this could have been
Let's see.
avoided if Edo-san and Lily had stopped and not ran away.
We're outnumbered. We're scared. We wanted to do something. We didn't want to lose our HP.
We were 50 feet away from you.
Still,
It's okay. We got this.
Okay.
It's
However, I'm only giving you this information so that way you can see that I did something that I hope seems fair. That's the only reason
So-
I'm giving you as players this information.
That way we know to blame Geo.
Yes. Either way, there is another creature that attacks. The
Delicious,
human
delicious
creature.
blade.
The human creature that was just sort of standing there is going to stretch Armstrong its arm at Explo, so it doesn't even move from its location. Its arm just suddenly is long enough to reach him, and it's compiled of small black creatures as it slams or attempts to slam into him.
Does the human that was with us, it misses by the way, does the human that was with us fight along us, or is he still sleeping?
He make a perception check since you asked. See if you noticed.
11.
He is just laying on the floor, unmoving.
I yell to the bastard, wake up, you piece of shit, and fight.
On your turn, you can do that, for sure.
Okay.
So
Which is
it
now.
is your turn.
I yell to the human, wake up, you piece of shit, and fight. And then I tell my bear, sick him, boy, and make him walk over to Lucius as he is knocked prone. And he will attack the thing.
Fair enough. He attacks the thing.
The thingy, Bobby.
Does a 12 hit?
Whatever it is.
12 does not.
Okay, so there's
Probably
just
expected
then,
that,
so
but the
12
20 does.
damage. And at that, and I will also chuck a flashbang just to get him off of him.
Sure. Alright, it needs to make a constitution saving throw. Which unfortunately it is good at.
Bum bum bum.
24.
Are you kidding me?
As it just sort of over and sees that you threw something on the ground, and it actually just covers its eyes with its really large hands, and it does not see the flash.
Yeah,
So
but
it does not get
Lucius, you have to do the
Let's save as well.
concept as well. Since he's
What
on
is it?
top of you.
Alright, what is it?
Con save. So, yeah, you missed it. So you get thrown 10 feet away from him.
Which
So it worked
could be
either
good.
way.
And I'm stunned?
No.
Okay.
No, it just
Did I take
makes
damage?
you fly back.
It makes you fly 10 feet away, and it makes you get knocked prone, but you were already knocked prone, so not really that big of a deal.
Okay.
It moved you 10 feet away, so on your turn you have a little bit of distance, which might be helpful.
That is good.
So, yeah, that happens. So I assume that's Explo's turn.
Yeah.
Alright, Lucius.
Okay. Can I cast Lightning Bolt from the prone position?
You can
Yeah,
literally do anything from the prone position. Except with certain attacks it's harder to do, but since it's a spell that causes them to have to dodge, then it doesn't affect you at all.
In the line is the bear. Like, would the bear be in that line?
Depending on how you angle it, you can hit only... You can hit one without hitting anybody else on your team, or you can hit two and hit the... hit one of your companions, or both of your companions.
I mean, there's two attacking me, so if you go next to me, you can just hit those three and the bug.
Yeah, he would have to move to do that. Which
Can I
means he
get
would
up?
have to stand up.
Which, if I stand up, that's my action, right?
No, it's
No,
half
if you
your
stand
movement.
up, it's half your movement.
Can my other half of movement get me to where I am in line? I can hit the 2 on top of Naki.
Yes.
And that's what we're doing.
And you can do so without getting in the melee range of the creature that was on top of you. So
Sweet.
you can do that.
So I'm going to cast it at regular level.
Sure. So
I assume that's hitting me as well.
No, I should
no,
be able to
since he
angle it.
moved, it won't.
Okay.
But if he didn't move, it would have. So
Need to beat a 17 on the dexterity.
dexterity. They're decent at that, but not. One got a natural 20.
Very decent then.
And an 18.
So that's just half damage then, or?
Yep.
Will
Okay,
he
so you
also
get to
hit
roll
the
your
bug?
damage still.
Wait, sorry, no.
That is
Yeah, it is
1d8.
right.
I will
Yeah,
let
no,
you
it's-
re-roll that
hold on.
one
Yeah,
and
no,
the
I'm
rest.
trying to. Sorry, 1 second.
I mean, you only rolled 1d8. That's.
Slash
I'm
R.
fine with letting you re-roll with
There we
the
go.
proper amount.
33.
Still got that natural one somehow.
God damn.
It's not
However-
D8s, it's D6s. It's
Did
8d6.
8? Shit,
It's
sorry.
8d6.
Okay, then it's d6s.
There we go. So
You
25.
got
So
2 1s instead.
So
So
22. 22.
It's 20.
22,
It's 25.
12. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a 12.
25 halved.
So
yeah,
12.
so 12.
Oh.
12.
Okay, and just give me a second here. My computer's being slow. That's okay. That's okay. And that's okay. Okay, there we go.
Cheers, Tim.
Alright,
Yeah, unfortunately, I drank all my beer. Sorry.
Oh,
But cheers.
fuck.
okay, so it was 12. Perfect.
That's why you have to buy the party pack, bro. It has 10 beers in it.
I know.
You fool.
Okay, so
And then
You dealt
Gio's
12
there
damage.
drinking a juice box. I love it.
Cheers, Gio.
What?
alright.
What?
Anyway,
Beautiful.
so did you want to do anything else with your turn?
I can't do anything else.
Fair enough. Tabaki.
Okay, I will go into a rage and I will start hitting things with my spear. That's I will have 2 points of exhaustion after this.
Wait, you're partially or oh wait, your race has rage. I
Yes.
forgot.
That is 14 to hit. One of the monkey
Fortunately, that
people.
does not hit.
And that's my turn.
Does it just barely miss, or?
Oh, that's slightly lower than what he needed to get. Which means it's more than just barely.
Hmm.
Okay, enemy turn. Perfect. Oh, and since the turn ended, since you yelled at the human, I'll give you the update. He didn't do anything. He's just laying on the floor still.
He's just shitting bricks.
He hasn't moved. So if that is indeed what is happening, he's not
Kind of want to use
reacting.
my next turn to throw a flashbang in his face so he could wake up.
We'll see what happens in a second. So, my rolls here. Where's my damage? Okay, there it is. Oh wait, that's not the damage. Here it is. Okay, here's the rolls. So 2 are still going after Tabaki. 1, 2.
Yeah, they both missed.
These guys. If you saw them in their native setting, you would be ashamed that they're doing so poorly. So they both miss. One is still going to target Lucian, or Lucius. Oh, goodness.
You'll get there,
I'm
bro.
gonna get that.
You'll get there.
I'm gonna get that right eventually.
He's not.
I know.
Miss and
So does that miss Lucian or Lucius?
it should
Yes,
do.
it does.
Okay, great.
Wait, hold on. Let me make sure.
You're a wizard, right?
Yeah, and I have the
He's a wizard, Harry.
I have the mage armor plus my dexterity,
blizzard, Harry.
which takes me to a 14. So the two 15s will hit.
Oh, the 15s aren't at you. The 13 is.
Oh, yeah, that'll miss.
Okay,
Pay
great.
attention,
I'm currently
Tim.
at a 14.
Fair enough.
Stop looking at your phone, Tim.
Sorry, wishes caught me.
Okay.
So many good deals.
And the +6 is
I know, right?
I know.
okay. This
God
guy's
damn you, China.
this guy's
Well, then the shipping is so fucking expensive, and it's not a good deal, anyways.
okay. Explo targeting you.
Yep.
Nat 1. Perfect.
Oh, it just barely missed. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I know it's. I'm doing perfectly. This is
Thank God.
all according to plan.
Well, it's the script gods. They're mad at you for not letting us enjoy our long rest after all the hardship we've been
Asshole.
through the last
I'm going
3
to have to
sessions.
agree. I'm
All right,
going
next
to have
one.
to agree.
Behind Matt,
Uh,
there's just this plan saying,
My bear
kill
is still
party,
gonna attack the
don't
same
fail.
guy that was
Whatever
with
you do, don't
Lucius
fail.
with Bite and Claw.
Which one were you hitting? Sorry, because Gio was making a joke and I was laughing to myself and I didn't hear you.
I didn't hear the joke. I want to hear the joke first.
So, okay, so behind Matt is just out of camera is a board that says, kill party, whatever you do, don't fail. Just
Yep.
don't fail.
It's the one that knocked Lucius prone.
Yeah, it's still trying to attack him, and it's in melee range with him now, but it didn't hit him.
Wait a minute, did it move away from my bear?
Yes, it did. I forgot that your bear was
Attack
in.
of opportunity.
Take of opportunity, man.
I forgot, so go ahead.
He's gonna try to swing at him with his claws, and it hits.
Yep.
And that's 14 damage, and then it's gonna bite and claw.
Ouch.
Does a 9
Those
hit?
both hit. Those both hit.
So that is 14 plus 15 is 29 plus 7 is 36.
And as your bear strikes into this creature, it falls to the ground in pain. And it goes. And it starts trying to claw at him fruitlessly, and then falls motionless on the ground.
Sweet. I feel like my
Well done.
main bear is more powerful than what I am.
Right now, maybe slightly. It just, if it hits, it deals more damage. That's the thing. You're more of a support character. I'll say that. Alright,
Yeesh.
Lucius.
The two are still in line where I can hit him with another lightning bolt.
Yeah, they're in a similar line, and you can just slightly move and get to where they are. So you can easily do that. Yep.
All right. Cast again.
Alright, so this is Dex.
So I can't do anything then?
Oh, wait, yes. It is your turn still. I forgot.
I'm gonna
The
chuck
lightning
an
bolt
acid.
Probably.
What?
So
What?
go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just gonna chuck an acid grenade at the guy that was hitting me.
Oh, okay. You can do that.
So it's a dexterity save. Or 19 damage right in the face.
Okay, his dexterity is low.
Thank God.
10.
Woohoo. That's not good enough, so 19 damage. Acid damage. If he has any resistance.
He does not have any resistance.
Goody.
And I would tell you if he did, so he does not. Now the lightning bolt.
So, is there?
You can start rolling the damage for that. Since it's going to be the same number anyway. It's just... So. Oh yeah, I was setting up his. Oh wait, no. Right, here we go. 1, 2.
Sweet. All right. So the first one takes 27. The second one will take 13.
Okay, this one's going. I think I was adding them wrong, so let me just fix that. Okay.
You guys know what I just noticed?
What?
I should have been able to roll an extra d6 on my acid grenades all along.
Really?
Yeah.
Of course. Of course.
My good friend.
When you level up, make sure you have the proper scaling for your damage.
Yeah, it was my dyslexia. I read bad.
Yes, that is understandable, but still. If you have a hard time reading, then you can get someone else to help you. That's perfectly valid. So let me just finish doing this.
And my healing drug is an extra d.
Yeah. Yeah, all your little trinkets you can draw.
Everything except my fire grenade. Probably.
And then he looks and sees that his fire grenade is also upgraded.
No, because that's I think that is why, because I just looked at the 7th level, because fire grenade is 7th level 3d6 and then it doesn't increase until 10th level, and everything else is 9th level and then again at 11th level.
That's an interesting level scaling. Anyway.
Yeah. Other forces, huh?
Anyway, so what was half of 27? 26, so 13?
13.
Okay, great. So the damage is added.
And then I can just kind of move so I'm not easy target.
Fair enough. By the way, one of them is bloodied. I think only one of them. No, 2 of them are. Both of them are bloodied. However, the creature that is made out of many little creatures is not. So the 2 lizard creatures are both bloodied. Oh, by the way, Lucian, you recognize this creature as one of the creatures that your father felled as soon as he left the tunnel.
Okay.
So apparently these things can get past your safe area.
Well, no, the private sanctum's not up right now.
I mean, the hollowed safe area is what I was referring to.
Okay.
All right, Tabaki.
Yes.
You still have 2 guys on you.
Yeah, and I will continue to shout at them and hit them. Hopefully this time. 23.
All right, 23.
You know what the worst thing is? They're probably just looking for shelter from the undead.
I doubt it.
Left or right?
The right one.
Okay, great. That one had less damage on it. So you add some damage onto it. Technically, from your perspective, they both look equally hurt. But my perspective, I can see how much damage they have accurately. So you hit the one that had less. Either way, it is now their turn. And they're going to try to hit you.
Yeah.
Wow, they're finally hitting. When it's probably not going to matter.
I want to use my reaction. Where's the thing? It's this one. So the first one misses, barely.
Okay, great. Second one is going to hit. So basically what he just did was he has a special shield, I think. I think this is the shield.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a special shield, Lucius. You look over at him, he cuts himself, and his shield seems to absorb some of the blood that he releases as he cuts himself. And it makes his shield slightly larger.
Okay.
So he has a specially enchanted shield that may interest you later, if maybe not. Who knows?
Might be more of a clerical thing. It's more based on belief than actual magic.
You don't know. You haven't examined it, but either way. So, the second one hits for. Where's the damage? Pretty sure that was a 3d6. So take 14 damage.
What damage is it?
Slashing.
Okay.
You are not knocked prone because they didn't have to run from far away to hit you.
Yeah.
They can only do that with a leaping attack. So either way. And Mr. Stretchy Arm. He's gonna try to hit you too.
Me?
But he's not attacking me anymore?
No, he's attacking you. He's still attacking the same person.
Okay. Yep.
If that was unclear. Oh, I was clicking the wrong button, but that's fine. It's my mistake. So I'll just click this button to roll.
Miss.
Alright. He misses. So, explode.
Just before I do anything, do I get my spell attack bonus on my frag grenade and acid grenades and stuff? As damage?
As damage, I don't know. I don't have the stats in front of me here.
I'm kind of asking Gio because
know,
he's an artificer expert.
You don't get your stats, like you don't add your intelligence to the damage, no.
Okay. In that case, I will make my bear charge at the two guys that is harassing Tabaki. And he will hit the closest one to the bear.
The closest one to the bear? Okay,
Yeah.
I am keeping track of which one's closer. So
Yeah. He will run up to the closest one and start attacking.
fair enough.
So it's 21 and 20 hits both.
Yeah, those hit.
So that is 20 something? 22 damages, and I will hit my new and empowered acid grenade at the guy who is hitting me constantly.
We'll just blame it on the instability of your enchantment on your satchel.
Yeah. Totally not my complete stupidity and negligence.
Yes. That is.
And I still rolled lower than the last one.
Well, I mean, it is possible to roll low. Just how it goes.
So that's a dexterity save for the Stretch Armstrong guy.
Okay, Stretch Armstrong. Great. +3. 14.
That's too bad. 14 damage.
Okay. trying to do two things at once here. Don't recommend it. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So, the creature gets hit. And you can see now that it is clearly not a humanoid or any sort of person. It is made up of very small creatures. As the acid burns away the facade that it had around its body. Seems like the reason it looked like a person is because this weird slime that was covering all of these creatures. Either way, it is now obvious that it is made up of a compiled amount of smaller creatures. So you don't have to even look at them or examine them closely or anything. Either way, I assume that's your turn, so Lucius.
The two are still on Tabanaki.
Yep. And it's Tabaki.
Tabaki, sorry.
That's okay.
If it's possible, hit them with the last lightning bolt.
If you want to hit them with a last lightning bolt, you can attempt to.
I will. Cast it at third level.
Okay, so that's 8d6, and
Ooh,
they have
that's
to
better.
attempt to dodge.
So either 31 or 15 damage.
Okay, just give me a second. That's this one.
So they both
Okay,
take 15.
Alright, so one is down. 15. And the other one is down. So as
Sweet.
the lightning bolt strikes through them, they have this scorch mark that seems severely burnt in the middle of both of them as they just sort of fall on the ground. However, you still have one enemy remaining, Tabaki.
And I will run up to that enemy and I will hit it. Oh. 17.
17 hits him.
8 damage.
8 damage. He's still up.
Yeah. That's my turn.
Right, he is going to, since you are standing right in front of him, he has no choice but to hit you. You're standing far away. So he's going to stretch Armstrong you, even though you're really close, so he's just going to try to punch you.
Yeah.
Really hard. For 21.
I will use my reaction. It still hits. Oh, that's the wrong one. Yeah, it still hits.
That's unfortunate. I think this is the first time he hit, so I have to determine his damage. So here we go. His damage. $14.
Yep.
Alright. Explo.
Is the guy at my bear's that still up?
The two creatures that your bear was going to attack are laying on the floor with burnt holes in their chests.
Okay, well then he will charge at Armstrong.
Alright.
He will bite, claw. Does 16 hit?
16 does not, but the 23 does.
Okay. So 12 damage and another acid grenade in the face. And even less on the damage dice.
Alright, he doesn't get to dodge because he is considered unconscious, so you just throw the grenade on him, dealing 13 damage. And
everybody's dead?
And he's gone. He falls to the ground, his little pieces melt and disassemble. And you can clearly see that they are small creatures. You'll have to examine them, but they appear to be small creatures.
Fuck
Either
that
way,
shit.
the battle is ended, and I'll let you guys interact with this ending scene. And I'll say that since Edo-san was in transit, I'll just say that he comes back at this moment. So that way he can interact with the scene if he wishes.
Well, the first thing I'm gonna do is walk over and pick up one of those small lizard thingies.
The small lizards? Or you mean the small creatures?
The small creatures or lizards or whatever.
Alright, you can examine it with a nature check.
Huh?
It appears to be
Oh,
a
yeah.
leech.
A
Leech.
leech.
Hmm.
Anything
That's
special about it, or
strange.
is it just a leech?
It has this weird looking white bulbous thing in the middle of it, but otherwise it's a leech.
That's the only thing I get to know about it on a 26.
It appears normal, but this weird pack behavior is not something a leech does.
Okay,
So
Arcana
you're not
check
sure
then?
why it does that, but it has. It has done
Arcana
this.
check.
You can?
25?
It's not entirely magical. You have a feeling it has something to do with this weird
bigger
disease
lizard?
interacting with this creature.
So it has the T virus.
Yes. One of the
I
things that you did
immediately
get
dropped
from
the
it.
lizard on the floor.
Yes. Same thing. The big lizards are T virus infectees that do not turn undead somehow because they are different creatures. And sometimes it interacts with different creatures differently.
Argonian. Immune to all diseases. Kind of.
You're not sure. But yes, Edo-san, you can interact with the scene if you wish, just so you know.
Just the group comes in with people, tell them, so you guys have been busy.
Just a little.
Well, do I notice the creatures are inside the barrier?
Yes. Very clearly. Like, there's a couple undead creatures that are sitting outside the barrier that you notice. And if you try to move them inside, they'll just get stuck or get pushed back.
Yeah, so I also just points at the creatures inside the barrier. So why are those in there?
They just approached and we had to kill them.
No, well, okay.
We don't know why they got in here.
Well, they didn't just approach and we had to
Technically,
kill them. They
well,
tried to kill
technically-
us.
There is a piece of information that I can make this conversation go a lot easier that he
Mhm.
would have gotten, but I just didn't give it to him because he didn't ask. They are considered aberrations.
Okay.
Well, that's a problem. So, is this place really safe, or should I just tell these people, turns around and points at all the people, to go back?
Well, it's probably safer here than at wherever you brought them from.
I mean, come
At
on,
least
they
here.
weren't that strong compared to all the other things above.
Well, outside in the farm where it was, well, open, safe.
Making it easy to keep them away. They seemed that they didn't like light too much because they kind of tried to kill Lucius when he flickered on a light.
Okay, that's
As you guys
good
are talking, Tabaki just sort of collapses.
Lucius is going to look at that and go, you know what? I think I'm going to go back to sleep as well.
okay.
I like your ideas, and I crawl on top of my bear again, and I
Well, technically,
long rest.
Tabaki has 2 levels of exhaustion, so he's out.
Okay, I will hold guard then.
You don't have to. My bear can do that.
I'm
I
almost
still will hold guard.
Fair.
Since elves and their trends. Did
Yes.
it say trends?
Can trance for 4 hours rather than rest for a full 8.
Yeah.
So technically, he can trance and then sit on watch for 4 hours.
Can half elves do that as well?
No.
No.
Okay.
You're not.
Unfortunately, half
They're
elves
not that
have
special.
lost that part of the elf that allowed that to happen.
Okay.
They're not that special. Shh.
Well, they do have special things about them that make them useful to have or use as a player, but they're just not the things that you wanted. So
Yeah, they're not that special as a high elf or any full elf. So shh, sleep. But yeah, that is the second thing I wanted to say. I have to go nap since 2 a.m.
yes.
Can he just trance?
And that's why I was saying that we're going to end. So unless if anybody has anything else to interact with this scene, this will be the end of the session.
See ya, guys.
See ya.
Yeah.
Geo? Ah,
Yeah, he's gone. He doesn't waste
He
time. He
he
just goes.
left.
And so, oh wait, Ben's still here. Never mind.
And so
He's
does
just
Ben.
not
I mean,
in the
wait.
roll
Wait a
20
minute.
for whatever reason.
I'm not there anymore.
But either way, yeah. Do either of you have anything you want to do in this scene?
Just examine everything. Take notes for the cartographers.
Yes, I heard my name.
Oh, so he came back.
I was just gonna
Reben
tell
wanted
you
to talk
that.
to you.
Yeah, I was like Geo. As soon as my window closed, I went like fuck, 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 fuck.
I was just gonna tell that you always love the way I make characters.
Yeah.
I just made a new one.
Oh
I think you're
God!
gonna love that one as well.
Do tell.
We can do it some other time if you're gonna go to bed.
No, I have a little bit of time to listen. I'm not
Okay,
falling.
just
Yeah, but probably
Just
not everybody
before-
else.
let's just wrap up the session. Did anybody have anything else that they wanted to do other than Lucius just sort of
I think
sketch?
everybody really wants that long rest. I want my bomb charges and my super explosives.
Fair enough. So everybody else is long resting. I'm just going to give a little bit of information to Lucius if he wishes. You can roll nature checks on all these creatures and arcana on them.
Okay. Well, how many nature checks?
2 and then 2 arcana. Alright, so it seems like it's the reverse for each.
Yep.
The weird creature that was an amalgamation of leeches, apparently. It appears that they have been infected with some sort of weird thing that is messing with their biology, which causes them to secrete this weird substance that has a camouflaging effect and can even disguise a person as another person or another being as another being. If you had enough of this, you could potentially apply it to yourself and disguise yourself as something else.
Definitely take some samples, and the alchemist might be able to use it for something.
Alright. Fair enough. And with the lizard creatures, you get something entirely different. They are extremely physically strong. You have a feeling that they have high stealth, and they are very, based on the size of their brains, they're very cunning, which is why they were willing to hide when they noticed that you guys were waking up. And when they got revealed, they just took the strategically best thing, which is to attack. but you have a feeling that them working in tandem together means that they have something in common.
Okay.
If you discuss this with your party members, that it's probably this weird virus that is part of this, part of all of this, that is enhancing things and making them undead and all kinds of weird things.
Okay.
So you get that information, so that's helpful.
Hmm.
You can take 1 vial of gooey camouflage liquid you can put in your inventory. And yes, that is where we will end off.
See you next Friday, Benjamin.